for Rugby. It's a beautiful day for Rugby League. It's a beautiful day for Rugby. So let's go. We are live for round 21 as the Penrith Panthers are going to be taking on the West Tigers. Now, we just saw the ladder leading Gold Coast Titans get a massive win against the top 4 New Zealand Warriors. And that was a great performance there by my boys. But now, obviously, we've got plenty of other games to cover here because we've got 2 games to go here today. So let's absolutely rock and roll with the next one, which is the Panthers-Tigers. And then we do have the Rabbitohs versus the Sharks later on today. And I'm telling you right now, Sharks, you lose that game, and I will never, ever, I will sink our ship because the captain does go down with his ship. But I tell you what, I'm sinking the fucking ship if you lose that game with the Rabbitohs. So you better damn well win that one. But let's get into this game here today, Panthers-Tigers. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new around here. And let's crack on. So the Panthers, they come into this game from 6th position. The Tigers come to the game from 13th position. It's at CommBank Stadium in Sydney, where both teams kind of call home games a lot this year, actually. Obviously, the Panthers are getting their ground renovated and rebuilt and all that kind of jazz, whilst the Tigers, every stadium in Sydney is pretty much their home ground. Now, the Panthers, Isaiah Yeo, Isaac Tungo, Liam Martin, and Nathan Cleary all come back into the team, so massive ins here for the Panthers, with the outs being Jack Cole, Matty Eisenhuth, Maverick Geyer, and Scott Sorensen. The fullback is Dylan Edwards, with the wingers being Thomas Jenkins and Brian To'o. Centers Isaac Tungo and Casey McLean. We go to the 5'8", which is Blaze Talangi, and the halfback is Nathan Cleary, who is the captain. Front row forwards are Moses Leota and Lindsay Smith, with the number 9 being Mitch Kenny. Back row is Luke Garner and Isaiah Papali'i, with the 13 being Isaiah Yeo. Interchange of Brad Schneider, Liam Henry, Lou Rompatea, and Liam Martin, with the 18th man replacement being Paul Alamotti, and the coach is Ivan Cleary. You know you're doing pretty well in the backline department if Alamotti is not even able to make the starting squad, which is crazy because he's been doing some really good stuff for the Panthers over the recent years since his Dogs days. This Panthers team, obviously, they are fighting for a top 4 position right now because thanks to the Gold Coast Titans, the Warriors now are still within reach of the Broncos and the Panthers. They are still within reach there. So that is very worrying signs for New Zealand fans. But for Panthers fans, they're thinking that a top 4 position is still on the cards here this year. They are thinking they can still make it. And the Panthers have had a very tumultuous season where they struggled in the early parts. Obviously, they were last until like round 19 or something. Round 9 or something like that. They really struggled. They started off by winning against the Sharks 28-22. They lost the Roosters 38-32. They lost the Storm. They lost the Rabbitohs. They lost the Cowboys. They lost the Dolphins. And then they finally got that win against the Roosters, which kind of put them back into the fray when they won 40-12. And that was back in round 7. But then they still lost to Manly 26-10. Beat the Broncos 32-8, drew with the Cowboys 30-30, and then lost to the Knights 25-6. So it was actually about round 12 that they were still struggling down there at the bottom area of the table. And then since then, beat the Eels, beat the Tigers, beat the Warriors, beat the Bulldogs in a great game, beat the Eels, and then beat the Rabbitohs. So they are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game win streak since that big loss to the Newcastle Knights in round 12, and they are absolutely coming. I'm not convinced that they go on to win the comp this year, but you've got to be a little bit nervous, right? You've got to be looking at the comp and saying, well, the Panthers have won 4 years in a row. They've been in 5 grand finals in a row. You can't keep them out of it. You can't hold them out of the conversation because they are winning games. And although outside of the Bulldogs game, the other ones, like the Warriors, are extremely vulnerable, and they have been vulnerable for a while now. The Tigers, whatever. Eels, whatever. Eels again, whatever, and then the Rabbitohs again. Outside that Bulldogs game, that's the big one, and that was a very good performance there by the Panthers, but they need to win here today. They need to win here today, and they really should be against the West Tigers, who were awful last week. Got to win against an awful team in the Titans. Again, different Titans team today, but the Tigers, they were very lucky to get that win last week, but at the end of the day, they did get it. So, look, the Panthers should be winning here today. But let's go through this Tigers team. The ins, Isaac Tuitupo, with the out being Charlie Staines. The fullback is Sunya Torulova, with the wingers being Isaac Tuitupo, who I believe was at the Rabbitohs. No, I think he was originally at the Rabbitohs before making the switch. And then Jarrell Skelton. I think I'm thinking of the same player. The centers are Taylor May and Stafford Toa, with the 5'8" being Jerome Luai, the captain. And the halfback is Latu Fainu. You go to the front row forwards of Terrell May and Alex Twell. And Apisai Kotoisau is the number 9. Back row, Alex Seyfarth and Tony Suka. 13 is Adam Dewey, with the interchange being Tristan Hope, Jack Bird, Fanua Pole, and Sione Fainu, with the 18th man replacement being Christian Mapapalangi, and the coach is Benji Marshall. Look, the Tigers, they Now with the Titans winning, they actually haven't avoided the spoon necessarily just yet, but they probably have with that win last week, to be completely fair. But they do play each other again in the last round of the season. Look, the Tigers would fancy themselves giving it a crack here. They have been better this season, obviously. They're not in last, they're not even in the bottom four right now. But they do need to get a bit of a move on, but it's just they're in a really, really difficult position for the rest of this season. They play the Panthers this week, and then they play the Bulldogs the week after, have a bye, which is very grateful for them. And then they play Manly, which is a tough game, before they finish with the Cowboys, which is an easier one, the Raiders in Canberra, and then the Titans on the Gold Coast. So they do have a very difficult run home. So I wouldn't expect them to win this game today, but it would guarantee them to avoid the spoon if they were to get a surprising victory here today at CommBank Stadium. But I am going to take the Panthers here, and I am going to take the Panthers 13 plus. I could see the world where the Tigers do try and make it competitive, but I just think the Panthers have too much quality. They're in some good form right now. They would be just looking to get that 2 points and really start to scare the rest of the competition, because the Panthers, their run home, we've got to be quick because the game starts in 3 minutes time and I'm going to go through that ladder. But the Panthers, their run home, they play the ladder-leading Gold Coast Titans next week before they play the Knights. Then they play the Storm, the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Dragons. So the Panthers, they right now should go on a 8-game win streak. A 9-game win streak. They should beat the Tigers, Titans, and Knights over these next 3 weeks, and then they have a really difficult 3-game stretch against the Storm, the Raiders, and the Bulldogs, the top 3 teams. 2 of those games are at home at CommBank. 1 game's at CommBank, one's at Mudgee, and then the other one is at a core stadium against the Dogs. So the Panthers need to be just putting scores past a few teams right now and really getting that confidence up. It's not about points differential because they're on the uneven due to that draw, but they need to be putting scores past teams and just really guaranteeing that confidence going forward into the last bit of the season. And again, the confidence is going to be at an all-time high with the Warriors losing and giving them an opportunity at that top 4, which is crazy to think about considering how their season's gone. But in regards to the ladder, the Tigers, they sit in 13th position on 18 points. That's 2 points above the Titans, the Knights, and the Rabbitohs. But they don't have to think about that for the time being. But the Tigers are on 18 points, which is equal with the Eels and also the Dragons. The Dragons have minus 64, the Eels have minus 147, and the Tigers have minus 101. So they're situated bang smack in the middle of those 2 teams. If they lose this game, they would have to lose by 50-odd points to go below the Eels today. The Knights, they play tomorrow against the Raiders, and the Rabbitohs play later on against the Sharks. Neither one of those teams... if the Knights won and the Tigers lost, the Tigers would go to 14th position because they got a plus 90. And the Rabbitohs are minus 149. So, they'd have to lose by a big margin, and then the Rabbitohs win by a decent enough one against the Sharks. But I tell you, I'll remove the Sharks from my ladder. If the Tigers win this game, they would go above the Dragons. They've already played, and they would go above the Cowboys there, and they would go into 11th position. They can't really make the 8 from here. Anyone, Cowboys and below, can't make the 8, but it would put them into the fray. It would put them 4 points below. It's just their points differential's not good enough. But this would be their kind of last chance to really kind of put themselves back into that mix. So overall, they would finish off in 11th with a win, but with a loss, they could finish in 14th and they could finish in 15th, but I doubt it. The other side, you've got the Panthers, who are situated in 6th position on 25 points. Don't worry about their points differential because the Cowboys aren't close, and that's the only team relevant for their points differential. If they were to win this game, they would go above the Broncos into 5th position on 27 points, and they would be 3 points short of the Warriors, who are on 30 points, which means that is absolutely on the cards for this back stretch. But that 3-game streak against the Storm, Raiders, and Bulldogs is going to be the key telling point for the Panthers. So if they win this game, they would finish off in 5th position for the weekend and be within range, but they're not there just yet. If they lose this game, the Dolphins have already received their bye. They can't jump them. Manly will play the Bulldogs tomorrow in a belter. If Manly win, they would jump them, and then the Panthers would go 7th. And the Sharks, if they beat the Rabbitohs, they would also go above the Panthers, and the Panthers would go down to 8th position. And that's the lowest they can go. So they would go to 8th position. Dolphins would drop out of the 8. So that's kind of the point for the Panthers right now. They can go up to 5th position and be within range, but they can technically drop down to 8th if both Manly and the Sharks win. But there you go, guys. The game is about to start. Panthers are out in the field. So are the Tigers. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Get around the Titans. What a win in New Zealand just before. And let's see how this game cracks on here. Get into the chat and let's see what you guys are saying. And the kickoff is underway as the Panthers kick it off to the Tigers here at CommBank. Mike says, hope Tigers win. If Dogs win tomorrow, are they still on fraudulent? No, if Dogs win tomorrow, they're off fraudulent for sure. No. That's a big game. Manly are in some good form too. Manly are in some good form, so that'll be a huge win there for the Bulldogs to kind of solidify themselves as a top 4 team because they're not even necessarily guaranteed, especially with a loss as well. Second tackle leave the Tigers. Jerome Luai gives it out to Latu Faiunu, then off to Suna Tarova, and Tarova will be at the 18 or so, I think it is, or is it 28? I know it's the 28, and that'll be 4 tackle for the Tigers, and they'll be at the 35. I think that if the Bulldogs lose if the Bulldogs lose tomorrow, you could definitely start to think that the Panthers are even within range of them. You really could start to think about that because, again, it would come down to that 3-game stretch, though. I don't really care about this game for the Panthers or the Titans game next week or the Knights game because they realistically should win all 3 of those games. But it's just that 3-game stretch that is in the back of the mind where you need to see the Panthers really get a click on there. All right, so the Panthers now, we'll get this ball to the 20. What a round it's been so far, by the way. This has been an incredible round. Storm in a belter against the Roosters, 34-30. Went down to the final seconds. Cowboys and Dragons was a shit-house game, but it was a really close game. And Cowboys even, they got the win, but the Dragons made it close in the end. And then you go to last night's game, Broncos-Eels, that was just an absolute belter of a game. And then the Titans-Warriors getting a massive upset there in New Zealand in a close game too. So, yeah, really good round so far. So hopefully the Tigers can give it a crack here and make this a good game as well. 4th tackle for the Panthers at the halfway point, 2 minutes into the game. Levi says, congrats on the Titans win. Goes to show that they have it in them. They have it in them. We know that they have it in them. We know that they have it in them. But they just don't consistently have it in them. But they do have it in them. And the Tigers will take another 10. But they are the bogey team of the Warriors of the last few years. You can't even debate that. They clearly are the bogey team there. Tigers now, second tackle. They'll be at the 15 and dragged back to about 12 metres out. Like the Titans have won their last 3 games in a row against New Zealand. They've won their last 3 games in New Zealand as well. The Warriors haven't beaten the Titans in New Zealand since 2021 or something like that. It's been a while. It might not even be that. It might even be 2020. I can't remember. But the point is that the Warriors haven't beaten the Titans in New Zealand for a while. So 5th tackle for the Tigers, and they'll get this ball to the 40. This noob says, Eels beat Broncos, Titans beat Warriors. What's next? Well, if we're going by the underdog status, which is what this season has been, the Tigers win this. And I tell you what, Sharks, you lose that game after this and I flip out. I flip out if the Sharks lose that game to the Rabbitohs. I flip out. I flip out deluxe galore. I flip out an unimaginable crash out on that stream later if the Sharks lose to the Rabbitohs. Second tackle now for the Panthers. They get the ball to the halfway point and third tackle is Papali'i. I flip out unimaginable. Alois says Raiders on top of the table. No, as you can see here, Titans undefeated. Titans undefeated. So forward tackle, you're only as good as your last game, so you're undefeated. Forward tackle now to 45. Mitch Kenny rolls it to the left-hand side to Blaze Talangi, and Talangi will get this ball to the 30. Got a great, beautiful blueberry smoothie here to celebrate the win too. Oh my goodness. It tastes like success. It tastes like success. Panthers knock on. Tigers get the ball. 0 tackle at the 10. Tastes like success. Justin Sunday said, if Tigers win here, I'll be well and truly back in my tipping comp. Are you literally just tipping all the underdogs now? Is that what you're doing? You're just tipping all the underdogs? Well, you kind of have done this all season, but are you just tipping all the underdogs? Surely if you're tipping all the underdogs, you probably would be doing well in your tipping comp because they have been doing so well for the most part of the season, except maybe the last month hasn't been a great deal of upsets comparatively. But for the most part, like this weekend's huge for upsets, and the first 15 rounds, 14 rounds were all upsets. Jerome Luai. Oh, wow, Mike. Okay, so the Waz haven't defeated the Titans in New Zealand since 2019. I knew it was a long time. Yeah, wow. We never used to beat the Warriors, bro. They used to be the team we would never win, regardless of anything. We would never beat them in the 2010s. But since then, we've got the wood over him. So Jerome Luai now will kick this ball to the corner where it will be Dylan Edwards who picks it up at the 25. And now he'll bring it out to... No, he's going to run backwards. What are you doing? Oh, he still gets the ball to the 30, but that was weird. Martin says, congrats to the Titans win, mate. As a Warriors fan, fraud load as well and truly deserved. Yeah, like, you got to put them on there, man. Like, that when they win the games, they haven't been super convincing. But they have been beat. They beat the Knights last week in a very unconvincing win, but they still got the win. The Tigers was kind of similar. The Warriors are still a top 4 team. It's just they don't have the attack, mate. Their defense is good. They didn't have a good defensive display today. But their defense has been so good all season. But I don't know. This really is starting to... It should be starting to really concern the Warriors in this back-end stretch. I don't know who they play next week. Who do you guys play next week, man? And 6 again for the Panthers. 28 metres out from the Tigers line. On fit tackle too. That was really rough. And now Isaac Tungo will be 15 metres away first tackle. Oh, it's starting to rain a bit. Starting to rain. Nathan Cleary, not in the game. I'm talking about in Vietnam. Second tackle, 13 metres away. Dazmate says Titans undefeated in the last 24 hours. Yeah, not how you spell undefeated, but I'll still celebrate you, Daz. Third tackle, 8 metres away. Mitch Kenny, he'll go left-hand side. They spread it through Isaiah Yeo to Talangi. It's a slow play, but they still might do something here. Nope, they'll be taken down. Casey McLean, 3 metres away from the line, 4 tackle. Otherwise, have Finns next week. Oh, man. That'll be very interesting with how the Dolphins are scoring points. Good defense up against a really good attack. Dolphins defense isn't exactly spectacular, but the Warriors attack is not great at all. Up in the air, knocked back from the Panthers. It's going to go all the way back here to the 20. Dylan Edwards still on fit tackle. They knocked it back now to the 25, and Nathan Cleary will put that ball up into the air. Tom Jenkins chasing it through. Oh, he's knocked it on. Jeez, that was lazy. That was very, very lazy from Jarrell Skelton, but they're very lucky that Thomas Jenkins will knock this ball on. They're going to go to the bunker, but he will knock this ball on. Sundo says, I'll donate you 5% of my multi if the Sharks lose. Don't even put it into the air, Sundo. I appreciate you, and I'll appreciate that, but don't even put that into the air. Don't even put that into the mix, mate. Don't even put that into the thought process of the world. So knock on there from Thomas Jenkins. Ibrahim says, no, the Roosters versus Panthers in round 2 was... upset... Oh, no, Eels Broncos last night was not the upset of the year. No, upset of the year would have been... No, there was Roosters Panthers, but there was another game as well that was around that time of the year. I'm going to go back here. Maybe round 4 or something. Where was it? Like Titans... No, not Titans Roosters. Contextually, it probably is the Dolphins coming back from 16-2 down against the Storm. But there was another game around that point that was a bigger upset. Maybe it was like round 5 or whatnot. Yeah, I can't remember. But there was a big upset at the beginning of the year. But that Roosters versus Panthers one was big. Someone says, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Lagan says, Titans continue to have a 100% winning record on the games that they've won. Exactly right. You know, you get it, Lagan. You know, you don't always get it, but this time you definitely get it. It's really good to see you starting to get it. Fifth tackle now for the Tigers at the 32. Dragons versus Storm is a big one, Ibrahim. They have a bit of a bogey thing over the Storm in recent years too. Jerome Luai at the 30. He'll kick this ball across. And Brian To'o comes through and gets it at the 10. Wise versus Dolphins. That's a very hard game to tip. Very hard game. You're probably leaning with the Dolphins right now, but is that in New Zealand or is that at Suncorp? I think I may still lean with the Warriors to bounce back. Good offload there from the Panthers. They get to Brian To'o, then Nathan Cleary, Dylan Edwards. There might be some space here, but Edwards doesn't pass the ball. Oh, it's in New Zealand. Well, the last game was in New Zealand, but I probably will still lean with the Warriors to bounce back. I'm not 100% still convinced in the Dolphins against the top echelon teams, but we'll see. We'll see. If Sharks lose, kick South out of the comp, we will be removing both teams from the competition, yes. Fifth tackle now at the 45. We will be removing both teams. Cronulla will be removed from the competition as well. I'm making the executive decision. Peter Volandis, you've been put on notice, mate. The Sharks will be being merged. They'll be merged with Tajikistan. They will be merged with Tajikistan. We will be basing them out. We might even base them out of, where's a good place? We'll put them in Kenya. He'll put the Sharks in Kenya if they lose that Rabbitohs game. We will put them in Kenya. The Kenyan River Sharks. That's what they'll be called. All right, so Conway Souter, Jerome Luai, and now the Tigers on 4 tackle. They'll be at the 30. Like I said, it was a full-strength Broncos team on pretty good form against an Eels team without Yongi and Dylan Brown's a shout for it. Well, the choice of Dylan Brown was their decision, so that doesn't come into play. That was a decision rather than an injury. And Yongi is not exactly a massive player in the big context, but they also had Mitchell Moses, and the Eels, when they had Mitchell Moses, are a much better team. You can definitely... There's a reason why people were saying the Eels had a potential of an upset last night before the game started. So it's like, I get the thought process. The Eels were $4 underdogs. They were big underdogs, but the Roosters were $11 underdogs against the Panthers in round 2 and beat them 38-32. The Roosters were 11-1 underdogs. Yesterday, the Eels were 4-1 underdogs, which was big. And the Titans would have been very similar today as well. So third tackle, and they'll get this ball to the 40. Because you could even argue the Titans today Yeah, I know the bogey thing, but you can even argue the Titans today. They were without Tino. Here we go. Nathan Cleary out the right-hand side. It's Isaac Tungo. Tungo to Brian To'o, and Brian To'o will be at the 40. Titans, Warriors were a full-strength team at home against a 17th position team as a top 4 team. And Titans had no Tino, no Keanu Kinney, no David Fafita, no Alofiana Khan Pereira. All Panthers here, 6 again. They're 28 metres out. And also no Sam Verrills. They're starting 10. You could argue that David's not starter, and that goes over the sideline for the Panthers. That goes over the sidelines. The Panthers throw to Grass McGrath. Good defense there from the Tigers, and they'll get the ball at the 20. 30 minutes to go of the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe. 30 minutes to go of the first half. But yeah, you could genuinely put the Titans up there with one of the biggest upsets too. But you just look at the context of the Warriors, which is what takes it away. But at the end of the day, you look at the stats of it all, and that was a spectacular upset today. Dasmate says, Knights $1.4 million half is playing Reggie's for a team that has 11 more spoons than the Dolphins have played seasons. This is true. He is correct, the old Dasmate. He is spot on. All right, so second tackle for the Tigers. Alex Seyfarth has gone on report. Second tackle for the Tigers, and they're going to be at the 30. Bunnies Panthers was an upset. Where was that? I can't remember that. When was that? Maybe, but that might have been at a time when the Panthers were really poor at the time. Alex 12. Take the Titans out of it. If you just say a fourth place team today lost to a 17th place team at home, that should tell. And the fourth place team has won their last 2 games in a row. The Titans have won one, or the 17th place team has won 1 game since round 3. You know, you could actually absolutely argue it. Dylan Edwards now, he'll be at the 30, gets away from the tackle, and he'll get this ball to the 35 on first tackle. Highlights 1 says, knock on from Dylan Edwards. Knock on from Dylan Edwards. So the Tigers are going to get an attacking opportunity here, 33 metres out. Highlights 1 says, where do you want NRL Club 20 to be from? South Island, New Zealand. 100%. South Island, New Zealand, create a rivalry with the Warriors. Get a bit of an origin-style match-up there with the North Island versus the South Island. I will always back in a South Island, New Zealand team. Always. Can't remove South again. They'll have a sook. Dad says 28 minutes to go here. First half, 2 errors for the Panthers, 0 for the Tigers. Again, if the Tigers win this, they're locked away from the spoon. They won't get the spoon for a 4th year consecutive. You'd have to assume that it's only between the Titans and Rabbitohs and Knights right now. But technically, the Tigers are only 2 points away from it. They do have a bye, however, to come. All right, so Terrell, mate. He will be 18 metres out, second tackle. And 6 again for the Tigers. Now they're going to be 8 metres away from the line through Adam Dewey. First tackle, Panthers. Here we go. Can you defend this? The Tigers are going to throw everything at it. Cottery Sow, that's nearly forward, but it's fine. Alex 12, 5 metres out, second tackle. Highlights 1 says, surely Panthers won a 12 here. Well, I thought Panthers would probably get a 13-pluser, but I did say I'm not convinced on them just yet that they go to win the comp, but you've got to be nervous. Jarrell Skelton, 1 metre away from the line, third tackle. 6 again for the Tigers. They're getting their opportunity. Jerome Luai to Alex 12. It was Terrell made to Alex 12, but second tackle now at the 10. Highlights 1 says Bunnies will get the spoon. Well, they're in the spoon right now. They're in last position right now with the game against the Sharks to come tonight. And I hope so, but the Rabbitohs do have a bye to come, and they are still 1 win ahead of the Titans. Same with the Knights. Alex 12, Terrell May, and he'll be 5 metres out. The Eels are very lucky they won last night, because if they had lost, they would have been last. They would have been last. The Titans actually would have gone to third last. So out to the left-hand side, love to find a new Jerome Luai. Luai gives it across here. Chance for the Tigers. I don't know if he's got this ball down or held up. No, I think he's been held up. He was short of the line when the ball came down and then got turned around, and Taylor May wasn't able to score. So fit tackle for the Tigers coming up 10 metres away. Dasmate says, just want to say if the Knights win the spoon, it doesn't count in Ryan Pappenhausen's resume. He's injured. What? What are you Ryan Pappen? Little puppy. What? If the Knights win the spoon, it doesn't count on Ryan Pappenhausen. What does Ryan Pappenhausen have to do with the Knights? What? So Jerome Luai kicks it through. Brian Tuttle picks it up, and he'll get this ball out to the 10. Really good run back there from him. That was a really disappointing end to that set there from the Tigers. And now Dylan Edwards, second tackle. He'll get it out to about the 17. Panthers actually getting a bit of noise going. Can hear a bit of Panthers chance here. Desmond says Fletchy Muppet. Oh, I'm the Muppet for reading out Ryan Pappenhausen that you wrote. You wrote Ryan Pappenhausen. You wrote Ryan Pappenhausen. I'm the Muppet for reading out Ryan Pappenhausen and not knowing what planet alternate reality that you're living in. I'm the Muppet. Maybe let's take a bit of self-reflection here. Ooh, maybe you're the Muppet for putting Ryan Pappenhausen. Maybe you. Not maybe, it is you. So, they lost the ball, the Tigers, but it will go... No, it's a knock-on. It is a knock-on against the Tigers. The Panthers are going to get an attacking opportunity 30 metres out. No, I get the referring to sharp looks like pups now. I get that now. But, like, at the immediate reading of the words Ryan Pappenhausen, how am I meant to come to the established opinion that that Dasmate is talking about Fletcher Denwell, the big man Fletcher? Dasmate says, and now he's screaming at me. Oh my gosh, Dad's just losing it. He's lost his mind. He's saying, you're acting like I don't call him Ryan Pappenhausen for the past 50 years. Well, so Daz, the problem here is that you've only been around for about 6 years, so that's a lie. That's a further lie from you. You've only been around for 6 years. So first tackle now at the 20. And now second tackle for the Panthers 10 metres out. Highlights one says, what part of the world are you in right now? It looks sunny. It's actually raining right now, but I'm in Vietnam, in Vung Tau in Vietnam. Is Yo across. Here's a chance here for the Panthers. Luke Garner. Oh, he's going to be about 2 metres short, third tackle. Off to Blaze Talangi. And Talangi, that was not the play. But anyway, it gets it out to Lindsay Smith, and they lose about 10 metres. Sorry for raising my voice. I tell you what. Oh, thank you, Sundo. Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, I did forget to refresh the scoreboard because Jay didn't do his job. Deary mate. And that's going to be Tigers with the ball. They get away. They're at the 30, the 35, the 40. Stafford Toa with the 50, the 45, the 40. And he has to stop in his tracks. And he'll be taken out to the 35 on the Panthers side of the field. Also looking like it could be a good game right now. The Tigers get the ball after a Panthers mistake. 0 tackle. And they're 35 metres out. No, Jay. No. You forgot to do your job. Scrolling up. What do you think this is? You think I'm like working or something? Out of the left-hand side, Tigers taken down to the 20. Taylor May. First tackle. Tigers are on a roll right now. Jarrell Skelton to Jerome Luai. And Luai fakes it off to 12. He'll give it off to Conaway Sow, who's going to be 3 metres out, second tackle. I'll take this one for the team. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay, for taking one for the team. Out to Jerome Luai. Luai then, like to Fayenu, chance of the Tigers. No, again, 5 metres out. And Stafford Toa. Oh, there's a push and shove with Sunya Tarova in the back. There is some animosity in this game. Latu Fayenu to Jerome Luai. He'll kick this ball through. It's a good kick for Connery Sow, but it will be a dropout. Brian knocks it dead. And a dropout coming up. Exactly right, Logan. Scrolling's for Instagram. Scrolling's for Instagram, mate. What do you think this is? You think I'm bloody going to put some effort into this or something? But I can't believe the Tigers didn't score there. They had a dominating momentum in that set. And then they kick it through on third tackle. They just got to hope they get this ball back. If they don't get the ball back, then it was all pointless. But at least the Tigers have turned up for a crack. And it's going to be a penalty, and the Tigers take the 2. Actually, no, you got to score. I think you could actually consider taking the 2 here. You're right in front. I bet you they do. But you're going to have to score points today to beat the Panthers. But I think they're probably going to take the 2 here. Yeah, they will. They will take the 2 from right in front. It's 3 points right in front, 10 metres out, and you get some points out of the possession. So you'd take it. Browie Brawls go Tigers. Well, they've done well to start here, and they're going to take the lead at 2-0. They're going to take the lead at 2-0. Alex wants to have you been to Ho Chi Minh or plan to? Ho Chi Minh's about 3 hours from me, or 2 hours. Yeah, I've been to Ho Chi Minh. I haven't been out too much there, but I flew into Ho Chi Minh. And I slept overnight in the hospital for 2 nights for my dad. So, yeah, I haven't been to Ho Chi Minh. Not the greatest experience Ho Chi Minh just yet. But when I go back, I'll enjoy it a bit more. So 2-0 to the Tigers. They get the penalty, and they do lead. Wagons go to Balmain Tigers, and that's the West Tig Pies to you. That is the West Tig Pies. Jeez, Instagram blowing up from that Titans win. Blowing up. Blowing up the likes. Blowing up the likes, son. Facebook's going off too. How good for the fans. But anyway, the Panthers will kick it off, and Jerome Luai grabs it, gives it off to Terrell May. That's a strong run from Terrell May to the 21st tackle. 20 minutes gone to the first half. 20 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. And now the Tigers, Alex Seyfarth to the 25 on second tackle. Balmain Tigers. They're giving it a solid go. Alex Twal at the 35. Surprising to see the Panthers haven't scored the first 20, but it is really kind of reassuring my concern for the Panthers still. They're not exactly the team that everyone's 100% scared of. Like, to be concerned is valid, but I think that the Panthers still have a long way to prove that they are the real deal again this year, in my personal opinion. So first tackle, Dylan Edwards, and they'll be at the 40. Liam Martin's about to come onto the field. And Thomas Jenkins brings it up to the 48 on the Tigers side of the field. Hearts one says, I swear if the Tigers upset here. Well, it's on the cards. We've seen 2 massive upsets already this round. And the Roosters nearly had a massive upset against the Storm. They didn't deserve to win that game, though. Brian Tuttle taking down at the 35. 4 tackle. Mitch Kenny off to... Oh, jeez, that was nearly a bad mistake there from the Panthers. Nearly, but it's fine. And now into the corner. Nathan Cleary. Thomas Jenkins comes through, but a good take from Jarrell Skelton at the 5. Really good take. Remember Jas? Yeah, Jas. I think Jas is still cracking on, isn't he, Highlights one? Is he still going? I don't know what he's doing. I think I saw something on YouTube the other day of him still doing some A-League content or something. Third tackle at the 25. Kodoi Sau out to the left-hand side. Jerome Luai. And there's apparently a mistake here from the Tigers. Apparently a mistake from the Tigers. Had to play the ball, so the Panthers 25 metres away. Sunder says he just keeps to himself now for the most part. You get around him. Largan says, imagine if the Rabbits win by... I'm timing you out. I'm timing you out for a minute. You deserve it. You deserve it for that. Don't even put that into the society. Don't even put that into the world, Largan Ballsacks. Unbelievable. Imagine if Rabbits win by 1, they would be above the Titans by 1 point differential. No, they would not be. They would be above us by 2 points. They would be above us by 2 points in 1 point differential, buddy. You just start clicking on, champion. But I hope the Raiders put 700 past the Knights tomorrow, and then the Titans will go to third last. So first tackle, and they are 22 metres out. Isaiah Yeo to Nathan Cleary. Cleary at the back now to Blaze Alungi. Passes the ball to the grass, and Grassy McGrass. Oh, nice work by Jenkins to keep that ball in play. With second tackle at the 22. Second tackle. I can't believe Jenkins was able to keep that in. I thought he was going out for sure. And Lindsay Smith, he'll be 18 metres out, third tackle. Panthers' attack hasn't really been attacking so far today. Mitch Kenny to Isaiah Yeo. And they've been down here a bit. 4 tackle now at the 10. 22 minutes in, still haven't scored. Mitch Kenny, 6 again here for the Panthers. Okay, well, this is your best prime opportunity right now. You've got to capitalise here, Panthers. You've got to capitalise. 5 metres out. Lindsay Smith rolls it to Mitch Kenny. First tackle, short ball. And they'll be 2 metres away. Oh, I just realised I went to go to the draw and I just went back to round 5. Panthers, 5 metres out. That's Isaac Tungle. Third tackle. Now Mitch Kenny. He'll go Lindsay Smith. Isaiah Yeo. Nathan Cleary. Cleary steps again. And he'll get taken down 3 metres out. 4th tackle. And the attack isn't really there for the Panthers at the moment. The Tigers defending well, but the attack's not really there. And that's going to be a knock on here from the Tigers. Oh, they're going to say 4 pass, are they? They're going to say 4 pass here from Isaiah Yeo. So I think this is Tigers ball to 10. Another mistake here for the Panthers early doors. Jeez, another mistake. They've had a few mistakes already. Well, no, you can't say that was a forward pass from Isaiah Yeo. Did they say this is a forward pass from Isaiah Yeo? No, it is Panthers ball at the 10. I was going to say, I thought he was saying that was forward from Yeo. That was nowhere close. But anyway, it is Panthers ball 10 metres away. Now Edwards at the 10. They give it up to Isaac Tungo. And Tungo is going to be 2 metres short. First tackle. Casey McLean goes for a dart. Good defense from the Tigers. They will hold him up over the line. He will be up over the line, so they'll have to take it back here to the 10. Yeah, it was Liam Henry. I was trying to find who the player was because I couldn't recognise him off the top of my head. All right, Panthers now. Dylan Edwards at the 15. Second tackle. Now third tackle. And Lindsay Smith will be 5 metres out. You've been down here enough, Panthers. You've got to break through them. It's not like the Tigers' defence is anything spectacular. Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary. Cleary off to Edwards. Edwards now at the 5 on 4th tackle. They're throwing a lot at him. Yo, short ball. That's a try. That's a good try there for Lindsay Smith. He will reach out over the line and he will lead 4-2 for the Panthers with a kick to come from basically in front. So they should get the conversion. And that's good stuff there from Lindsay Smith. And the pass from Yo was nice. Second try in 3 weeks there for Lindsay Smith. And they were throwing everything at him, man. Like, they've been down there a lot. TH has just caught the highlights of the Titans-Warriors game. Take fraud alert off and put ding dong. To be fair, mate, the Titans did play some really good footy. They did play some good footy, and that's not bias speaking. Like, they did actually complete at a 95% completion rate. You know, they were making a bucket load of meters, and they actually had a decent enough kicking game. Like, the pass from Kieran Foran for that try to Philip Sami was beautiful to cut out 2 players. It was really good stuff. Really good stuff. So, yeah, look, the Warriors obviously didn't play a great deal well, but the Titans, they gave it a good go. So 4-2 here to the Panthers with a kick to come. Broggy Sports has tried something. Bumada bish. Dude, I've been having one of these like every day. These blueberry drinks over here, they are unbelievable. That pass is perfect for him. Absolutely. Under pressure in the line, the Warriors jamming in to stop the quick passes. And Nathan Cleary is back goal kicking here for the Panthers, which is a good sign. Very good sign. Sorry, I'm reading something on Facebook about... There's this guy in these Titans Facebook groups. So it's 6-2 here to the Panthers with 15 minutes to go. There's a guy who is like a big Tino hater. Like, he hates Tino. And he's not a fan of how much money he's on. And he says that we always lose with Tino, and Tino is an overrated player. And he just doesn't stop. And I said, he put another post up just before saying, who would you rather to keep at this club? Because Jaden Campbell's being apparently shopped around. Who would you rather keep, Jaden Campbell or Tino? And it's like the comparison with Tino makes absolutely no sense, because one, he didn't play today, and there was just no discussion around Tino, but he just wanted to shit on him again for like the 100th time this week. And I commented saying, you have serious problems, man. Like, you have serious problems to hate Tino as much as you do as a Titans fan. But like, it's a pro and a con to winning today, because the pro is that we won, but the con is that it gives him ammunition in regards to saying Tino is the reason we're losing. And it's like, my gosh. Because Tino obviously didn't play. Second tackle now at the 22, so now he's got like that confidence about him. Nathan Cleary out to Blaze Talangi, and Talangi will be at the 30. Haven't been impressed a great deal with Talangi so far in this game, but that was a decent enough run. And Panthers out to the 40 through Luke Garner, 4 tackle. Sounds like a flog. Yeah, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and it's like, if you have a negative opinion on Tino's win rate with the club and how much he impacts the club, like, you're entitled to your opinion. It's just when it's so repetitively targeted against an individual player, and especially Tino, who Titans fans love galore. Like, everyone loves Tino, but like, just to constantly badger this one individual, it really does get to the point where you're just like, you're a fucking idiot, mate. So second tackle, someone's just yelled something out at Liam Martin because he wasn't too impressed with something from the crowd. Third tackle out with the Tigers at the 33. Again, everyone's always entitled to their opinion, especially when you're at a club that is struggling as badly as we have. Everyone's entitled to their opinion about anything, but it's just when it's so repetitive. Fifth tackle now at the 45. Dasman says, hates Tino but can't keep his name out of his mouth. Sounds like a fan. Yeah, he's biggest fan. His biggest fan. And it's like, Tino, his involvement is huge on the field. It's a good tackle for the Tigers. Panthers back at the 10, first tackle. Tino's involvement on the field is second to none. It's actually the other player's fault for not playing to the same standard when he's on the field, which is why a lot of people have a negative... Well, why people say that the win rate isn't exactly great with Tino, because the other players take a step back while he's obviously leading the line. But that's more on them. That's them relying on him. They shouldn't be relying on him. They should be going up and motivating from him, is my opinion. But this bloke doesn't seem to look at it that way. Fifth tackle now is Yo at the 35. 12 and a half minutes left of the first half. Liam Martin on for Lindsay Smith. Tina lives around for in his head. Yeah, absolutely. And knock on Tigers. Knock on Tigers. Actually a penalty too. It should actually be a penalty for being in front. of the player, but it's going to be just a scrum. Because he did grab it. The Tigers player did intentionally grab it afterwards to prevent the Panthers from getting it, which is a penalty. It's not an accidental offside. It's not an accidental offside. Christopher Toll was intentionally grabbed it to prevent a potential try. But it is just a scrum. So Panthers, they score here. It's going to start to become pretty tough for the Tigers. Like, I know it'll only be a 10-point game, but you can't be letting the Panthers get out to a lead. Especially with the form that they've had over the recent weeks. Dylan Edwards here on the scrum. They go short side. Isaac Tungo, he'll be about 7 metres out from the line. They roll back to Edwards. They go short side again. He should have actually got it himself, but doesn't matter. They score anyway. Edwards would have scored. He passed it. Casey McLean scores instead. So it is 10-2 here to the Panthers with a kick to come. They didn't get off to the greatest start in this game, but they're starting to get a few points on the board now. 10-2, kick to come. 11 minutes left. And that was too easy there because, honestly, all three of those players on that short side would have scored, and you shouldn't really be scoring on the short side like that. But Isaac Tungo rolls back to Edwards. They've got Jenkins out there and McLean. And, again, I think Edwards would have scored himself if he wanted it. Seb Watson says, Panthers going okay against Panthers B team. Well, they're starting to get a motor on now. But, yeah, not great defense from the Tigers at all. Especially considering he kind of goes over untouched. Like, he wasn't untouched, but it's close enough to going over untouched there from a short side raid. 10 minutes to go with the first half. 10 minutes to go with the first half. Panthers lead 10-2. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Don't forget we've got Sharks versus Rabbitohs after this. And I will be the biggest Sharks captain that ever did Sharks captain. I will lead this team to glory, son. And if they lose, then I will lead this team to the bottom of the Atlantic. The bottom of the Atlantic. I will sink this ship so hard that they will never be getting off the bottom of the Atlantic seafloor. Seb Watson says, what was the defence there from the Tigers for, just standing around looking at people? That's what I'm saying. Dylan Edwards could have gone over himself. Turuva wasn't stopping him. Turuva wouldn't have stopped him. And then Casey McLean basically over untouched. And if he had to pass that to Jenkins, they would have scored easily on the wing anyway. E. Tomasi said, go Tigers. Well, they got off to a really good start here, man. But unfortunately, it's fallen apart over the last few minutes. And Nathan Cleary from the sideline, he will kick and he will convert. That's what he does. So it is 12-2 with 10 minutes left of the first half. 12-2. A little bit of breathing space. And again, if the Panthers win this, they'll be 3 points away from the Warriors. Warriors are starting to get to squeaky bum time, man. The Warriors are very thankful the Eels beat the Broncos yesterday, because if the Broncos had won that game, they were only 2 points short. If the Broncos won that, they would have been 2 points behind the Warriors with a better points differential. The Warriors currently have a plus 28, whilst the Broncos have a plus 78, but that is also with the 2 points off. They were plus 80, and if they won by 4, plus 84, they've got a better points differential than them, so they're very grateful for the Eels yesterday. Very grateful. First half went over the Panthers at the 20. And Mitch Kenny off to Liam Martin, and Liam Martin gets it to about the 30. Kent Rose is back from work, didn't get to join the last stream, so let me just say now, yeah, the Titans, mate, how good. Did you get to watch the game at least? Because it was a great performance. Like, it wasn't a performance where the Warriors were bad and the Titans were bad, but the Titans were just a little bit better. The Titans were pretty confidently the better team throughout the 10 to 80 minute mark. The first 10 minutes we got slapped. Like, I thought we were going to get beaten by 100. I thought we were going to get beaten by 100, but it ended up being a very similar game to the Anzac game from last year, where they went out to a 12-0 lead, and obviously we came back to win at 27-24. This one we won by 8. But we were thinking we were going to get absolutely crunched. After that first 10, Brian Toto here at the 30. That's not played out there by the Tigers, in my opinion. Yes, it's still fit tackle. And Edwards now will get it. He will kick this ball to the corner. Torova under pressure, but he gets it. And Liam Martin, Toto, dive on him 3 meters out. Seb Watson says, Titans always kicking the shit out of the Wires. They do. They for some reason, just have that bogey thing over them. But it's a Tigers penalty. A Tigers penalty against Liam Martin. Some reason we always just match up well with them since 2020. Before that, we couldn't win against them to save our life. Ibrahim says, which team has been the most overrated and underrated? Are you talking about during this? Are you talking about like overrated and underrated now? Or are you talking about overrated and underrated compared to before the season started? Like, if you're talking about overrated now, I would still actually quite lean with the Panthers, despite the fact that people will disagree with me. I guess Dolphins would be a better shout for that, because they haven't really proven a great deal. Besides the fact they're scoring a lot of points, they haven't done it really against teams that you're looking too heavily at. Underrated, you're probably looking at Manly. Manly have been playing some good footy. I don't think they can win the comp this year. They'll get Hamoli Olakuatu back tomorrow, which is huge. But Manly currently are probably a little bit underrated compared to how they're playing. But pre-season, overrated would definitely be the Sharks, and underrated would clearly be the Raiders or the Warriors. So 4 tackle now, and they'll be at the 44. Highlights once as was overrated. But no one's really talking about them. This is the thing. To be overrated, people need to be talking about you. And people have had a concerning thought process about the Warriors for a while now. It's not just... they're not considered one of the big dogs. Like, Warriors fans will tell you they are. Or maybe not now, but they were saying before. 20 metres out. Because winning against the Knights with the Halasima try was unreal. But, like, you look at the game and you're like, well, you're losing to the third last Knights who can't score a point to save their life, 15-14, and you had to rely upon a deflected field goal attempt. Good run here by the Panthers. Isaac Tungo to the 50. Now the 45, third tackle. Oh, it gets the offload away, sorry. So still second tackle. And then it's going to be a knock-on. That was a bad offload there from Isaac Tungo. I think they're going to challenge this. Yeah, they are going to challenge the Panthers. So, yeah, a lot of Warriors fans like to put the Band-Aid over what last week was. And the Band-Aid was they were down by 1, and the only reason they won was off a miraculous thing for Halasima, but it was a deflected field goal that bounced in his favour, and then he worked it to get the ball to the try line, but it was still a lucky deflection that landed there from a missed field goal. So Tungo... Oh, there's no knock-on there. There's no knock-on there from Tungo, unless that's going forward. If that's going backwards, there's no knock-on here. Like, Fayunu's hand is on it, but I think that... Yeah, no, this is an offload. This is fine. It's a successful challenge. Panthers will keep the ball. Ethan says, will Panthers win today? Yes, I would say the Panthers win today. I did tip them 13 plus before the game. So, Captain's challenge is successful. The Panthers will get the ball to 45. Unbelievable, Sunday. Everyone says before the Eels game, Broncos are kind of overrated. Sure, but that was also mainly coming from the Broncos fan base. Like, if you watch, as you do, but if you watch my streams, I've been... that's going to be a ball plant. No, that's going to be a ball plant. That's a ball plant. No, it's 100%. No, it's just Tigers ball. You weren't in a ball plant position, and you put the ball on the ground, and you lost the ball. So that's Tigers ball at 35. Don't challenge it. It's a correct call. It's the same thing we saw in the Warriors-Titans game. It was the correct call, and this is the correct call here. But if you watch my streams, you know I've been telling you guys the faults in the Broncos game for a very long time now. They make a lot of errors, just like the Roosters. The Roosters and the Broncos are the exact same team, where they will normally get wins, but they'll also make a bucket load of errors, but the wins aren't exactly spectacular wins against big-time teams, so they make a lot of errors. But now, like, it's... The Broncos didn't even make a great deal of errors last night. Second half wasn't great. First half was better. But they just didn't have enough to get over the line. And Ben Hunt, Ezra Mam, and Adam Reynolds were completely non-existent last night. Reece Walsh was too existent, but had to be too existent because nobody else was trying to stand up and try and win them that game. So I actually feel for Reece a little bit. So Tigers now at the 42. And Cottery out gets it off, and they'll be 48 minutes out to Fayonu. Tackled in opposition half is 41 times for the Panthers so far, 16 for the Tigers. That's a big gap. Third tackled after the Tigers. 5 minutes left here, first half. And Cottery South will get this ball to the 30. Jex says, looks like the Tigers can get beaten by the ref again. What are the calls that you're talking about that are controversial in this game? 6 again for the Tigers, 30 metres out. Like, what are the calls that you feel are controversial? Because that call for the Isaac Tungo was definitely an offload. And was definitely fine. So I'm sure you're not talking about that. You must be talking about something else. Second tackle now for the Tigers, and they're 15 metres out. Apiso Cottery out. Latufonu, and I'm sure you're definitely not complaining about the referees last week for the Tigers against the Titans. Ian says, was it Ruckin, friends? Oh, I don't know. That was a while ago. So third tackle of the Tigers, 8 metres out. Conroy Sow, Terrell May, and he's 5 metres out. Fourth tackle. Titans deserved to lose that game, but there were some very questionable calls by Belinda Sharp. Conroy Sow off the left to Fainu. Fainu across it to safe fast. Oh, 5 metres out. Fifth tackle, Jerome Luai. He'll get it across the left to Fainu. Fainu kicks it through. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too hard. 7 tackle set coming up for the Panthers. Too hard. Duolingo says, damn, Tigers losing. Yeah, like, they've been solid enough, though. Like, that's a good tackle from Latu Fainu. 0 tackle at the 33. It was a great run from Edwards. He probably should have got the ball to Jenkins. What was I saying? The Tigers were actually pretty good for the first 25 minutes of this game, but then Panthers just went bang, bang, which is what they do. Great, Alizors is who you're supporting. I don't really have a dog in the fight, mate. Like, I don't think the Titans are going to be able to get above the Tigers this year, and I think that with their bye, and despite we play them again, we're not going to be going anywhere above them, and the Panthers are well and truly far away. So I just watch rugby league, mate. I don't really have a dog in the fight here, but I do have a dog in the fight in the next game between the Rabbitohs and Sharks. Fourth tackle now at the 25. Favourite NRL ground for atmosphere? It depends on the game, who's playing. Panthers now at the 20. Warriors ground's always amazing. Suncorp is always good if it's a close game, but it can be if it's an empty blowout. It's not exactly great. Panthers knock a ball back here on fifth tackle. Edwards kicks that ball through. Will it sit up? No, it won't. It will go dead. No, it won't even go dead. It actually bounces in the infield, so it's going to be Tigers getting the ball 10 metres out. Mate, Belmore's definitely not my favourite. No, Belmore's definitely not my favourite. Definitely not my favourite, the old Belmore. So first tackle now for the Tigers at the 28. If I was going to go, it was going to go like a rural ground or like one of those kind of grounds, like a Belmore. You'd even include a Shark Park, Belmore, Shark Park, like Mudgee, all those kind of places. I'd probably say, well, the most beautiful is actually probably Mudgee. Mudgee was a beautiful stadium it's like a small stadium. Boutique, but like the area was beautiful. Wollongong is nice, but it can get super cold there too on that hill. Latafonu at the drum, Luai, and Luai will be taken out of the 38, fourth tackle. Sean James says, afternoon, sir. Go the Panthers. Well, the Panthers doing all right now. Doing all right now, Sean. Sunday, how you going up there in Thailand, by the way, with everything going on with Cambodia? I know you're well away from all that, but still. How's everything going over there? Dylan Edwards, he'll get crunched down. 3 metres out, first tackle. Sunday says, Leichhardt Oval goated. Leichhardt Oval is, like, it's good. It's good. I wouldn't say it's my favourite boutique stadium, but it's good. I would say, like, Leichhardt is a more enjoyable, probably, experience than Belmore. That's nothing to do with the teams. I'd just say Leichhardt's probably better than Belmore. I'm not a big fan of Campbelltown at all. Panthers now, Nathan Cleary, forward pass, referee. What? Oh, no. Okay, well, they're going to score. Oh, that's rough. I've got to call that. Dylan Edwards is going to score to the post. Okay, well, I'm going to have to agree with, who was it from before? Someone before said the Tigers are playing against the refs. There was a forward pass there. Jex, you're probably right now, mate, because that was a forward pass from Nathan Cleary that's ended up in a try for the Panthers and Dylan Edwards under the post. I would love to go back and have a look at this one again. Here we go. So out to Jenkins. Here's Nathan. No. I love how they've shown us. You know what? Screw you, NRL. That's bullshit. They have shown us an angle from so far away to try and take away from how forward pass that was. The bunker can't review forward passes, highlights one. And now they're going to show us a front-on angle to avoid the forward pass from Nathan Cleary. You know full well, Fox, that was a forward pass, and that's why you're trying to show angles that are going to take away from how forward of a pass that was. That is wild, Fox. You know exactly what you're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, trying to hide that forward pass. Anyway, it's 16-2 to the Panthers, and that's right on halftime as well. Who's better, Casey Badger or Casey McLean? That is the most random comparison I've seen nearly in my entire life. Warsols, has Badge had some bad calls in the Wars? No, come on, man. You can't be talking about the referee in that game. You and I both are very well aware the Warriors just simply weren't good enough to win that one. Come on. Come on. You got to be honest with it, man. Be honest with it. Like what the Warriors just weren't up for that game. So it's about to be 18-2 here to the Panthers at halftime. But I'll read the rest of it. But how good was Fozzie and Campbell? Glad Dad's got a win in his 500 mark. Watene Zelezniak is a liability. Agree, but not in regards to that try from 4 and passing it across to Philip Sami. I think that the centers and stuff all jammed in, which forced Watene Zelezniak to come in, and Foran's pass was brilliant. But anyway, it is half time here. It's 18-2 to the Panthers. Very controversial call just then, which allowed them to get that try. I would love to see what Twitter's saying. Actually, I'm going to quickly jump on Twitter and see, and then we'll get into the stats at half time. But I would love to see what people are saying. Because surely people are blowing up Deluxe. It's just F the NRL and F the Panthers. That the most forward pass from Nathan Cleary you'll ever see in no call. This is a blatant corruption, disgusting. Yeah, people aren't happy with it. People aren't happy with it, that's for sure. That was probably one of the nicer ones. But there you go. That is halftime, 18-2 to the Panthers. The Panthers were the better team, clearly, but that last try was pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. But that's kind of what we get used to with the NRL, because that was clearly forward. But anyway, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's get into the stats. Now remember, these are a guide. They will update at halftime, so they might change, but it is a guide to understand. So possession is 53% for the Panthers and 47% for the Tigers. Time possession is 15 minutes 14 for the Panthers and 13 minutes 29 for the Tigers, which means there's not much stoppage in play. Completion rate, you want to be at least hitting 80%. Both teams are hitting 80% here. 81% for the Panthers at 18 from 22 and 85% for the Tigers at 17 from 20. So that's very good there for both those teams, especially the 85% there of the Tigers. They've only made 3 incomplete sets, the Panthers with 4. Now, runs-wise, 94 runs for the Panthers, 77 runs there for the Tigers, so a 17-run swing Panthers way, with the run meters being 905 there for the Panthers and 761 for the Tigers. I'm not sure if this will have updated the 60-meter run that they just made, though. That's why I say it's a guide. But 905 to 761, now it's 905 to 782. Which means they're updating the Tigers still, and the Panthers are the ones with the ball last, so I guarantee they'll get an extra 60 metres. But for the time being, 782.905 is about a 120 run meter swing. So let's try and give the equal comparison to the Tigers if they got the same amount of ball. So bring them from 79 to 94. That's 15 more runs. 10 meters per run on average is 150 meters. So 782, 882, 932. So again, probably hasn't got the extra 60, but 932 to the Tigers, 905 to the Panthers if you try and give them the same amount of ball, right? So they are actually doing some pretty good stuff with the ball when in hand meters-wise. But on its own merit right now, statistically, the Panthers do have about 115, 120 more run meters, and now it's starting to update, so it will blow out a bit. The Tigers aren't doing too bad with the ball in hand when they've got it. Post-contact meters is 316 to the Panthers, 312 to the Tigers, which kind of emphasises the previous point, because 16 runs behind now for the Tigers, 17 runs behind now for the Tigers, and they are only down by 10 metres in the post-contact at 322 to 312. So if you equal that out, you're definitely seeing the Tigers well in advance in the post-contact. And like I said, they're now updating it. The Panthers are blowing out in that metres department. Line breaks is 3-1 Panthers way. Tackle breaks is 20 to 15 Panthers way. And then we get to the average set distance. Anything under 25, the stream gets cut. It's pathetic for any team. Anything under 25. 25 to 30 metres is, you wouldn't even spit at it, disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming, not good enough. 35 to 40 is average, what you would expect, what you need to be hitting. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And then 50 plus is perfect, first half, unbelievable. The Tigers are at 39.51. So they're on the really high end, just short of the great category. They're still in the average, what you would expect area, but it's the extreme high end of 39.51. So they're getting an okay amount of meters on every set. And then for the Panthers, they're at 48.12, which is very close to a perfect first half meters-wise. That is a fantastic average set distance. And again, I don't even know if that's included that last 60-meter run, which probably would have put them up above 50. But for the time being, they're fantastic. That's a fantastic first half on an average set distance. Play the ball speed. 3.24 seconds is pretty fast for the Panthers. There's a really fast play the ball speed. And then for the Tigers, they're at 3.59, which is getting towards the slower category. It's definitely actually in the slower category. We saw the Titans at 4 seconds in the last game, which is very, very slow. That is extremely slow, but they won the game. So the Tigers at 3.59, which is slow. But, at the end of the day, it's kind of what you expect there with them. They're not usually a quick play the ball speed team. Offloads is 4-3 Panthers, and then you go down to the kicks, 100% kick and defusal for the Panthers, at 50% for the Tigers, and then effective tackle percentage. Anything under 85% is disgusting, pathetic. 85 to 88% is underwhelming. You're not hitting the mark. 88% to 90% is hitting the mark. It's what you expect. It's what you need to be at least hitting. And then 90 plus is a perfect first half. It's brilliant. The Panthers are at 90.59%, so they had a perfect first half. It's not perfect, but it's a brilliant first half, sorry. It's a brilliant anything above 90%, and they're at 90.59. So tackles made is 183 tackles for 15 missed tackles and 4 ineffective. So they're very much limiting the ineffective. They've got a pretty normal, regular missed tackle count of 15, so 19 bad tackles. That's really not bad at all. Anything under 20 is brilliant. So 19 bad tackles in the first half is great. It's just unfortunately their missed tackles is up around that average area, but they're limiting the ineffective greatly. And then the Tigers are at 86.67%, which is not hitting the mark. It's underwhelming. They're not getting to the 88% marker that you need to see. 182 tackles made for 20 missed tackles and 8 ineffective. So the ineffective isn't awful, but it's around the average area. The missed tackles of 20 is bad. That's getting up there. So 28 bad tackles compared to 19 missed tackles. 28 bad tackles compared to 19 bad tackles, with the Tigers being the 28. That is exactly why it's 18-2 right now. And then you go to the negative plays, 6 errors for the Panthers, 4 errors for the Tigers, 2 penalties conceded to the Panthers, 0 against the Tigers, which is great. Ruck infringements, though, they've given away 3, the Tigers, whilst the Panthers have given away 2. Inside 10 metres is 1-0 against the Panthers, and on reports is 1-0 against the Tigers. So the Tigers have actually been really disciplined here, really disciplined. Not a single penalty given away, and just the 3 ruck infringements. That's actually really solid, whilst the Panthers are just quite consistent across the 2-2-1. Giving away a bit of ill discipline, but it's nothing too red hot. But the error count for the Panthers is getting up there at 6, whilst the Tigers did really well at 4. So like that suggests like how the Tigers are down by as big a margin right now. But with that being said, 6-4 is nothing too crazy. So overall, like the stats do suggest that Tigers with the ball when they have it aren't doing too bad. Their completion rate's good, and their run meters is now behind the Panthers because of that 60-metre gain on like an equation level, but they are still down by about 220 when you're looking at a pure level. So yeah, look, the Tigers actually haven't been awful. They haven't been awful, but the scoreline is suggesting that the Panthers just are the better team, and they still have been the better team despite that forward pass from Nathan Cleary that was given a try, because it was very clearly a forward pass. It shouldn't have been a try, but at the end of the day, the Panthers would have still been leading 12-2 and have been the better team. But 12-2 probably would have reflected this game a lot more than what it is now. So that's the halftime stats. Stephen says, Panthers try score, please. The players who scored the tries for the Panthers were Lindsay Smith, Casey McLean, and Dylan Edwards. They're the 3 try scorers for this game so far. Abdo loves Cleary's milk. That's a very weird comment, Lagan. That's a very, very strange comment. But it's not that I don't expect it from you. Very much expected from you, champion. Very much expected. I'm actually going to quickly run off to the bathroom here, guys, while it's half-time. I didn't have a break in the last game, so I'll be very quick. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. We've still got the second half to come here, and then obviously we've got the Rabbitohs versus the Sharks game after this, where I'm going to have a major crash out if the Sharks lose. All right, thumbs up, subscribe. We'll be back in a second. we're back. All right, we're back. It is pouring down rain at the moment here in Warndale. Samuel says, what's your favourite NRL team? The team that's currently undefeated on top of the ladder, mate. The team that is currently undefeated on top of the ladder. Casey says, how's them Titans, hey? I only put $5 on them to win. Should have put my bloody house on them. Yeah, well, there's always that hindsight. But no, just be happy for the win, man. Just be proud of the fact that we put in a good performance here today. That was really good stuff. It wasn't the Warriors were bad. They weren't great. But at the end of the day, the Titans just put in a good performance and deserved the chocolates in the end. And they got them. Like, the club still absolutely is on notice. Like, I really hope that they don't just sit down, enjoy a whiskey and think that everything's kumbaya now and everything's all good. But, it's very good to see that the Titans get the win and, put themselves out of last place. We are in second last right now. So we're not currently in the wooden spoon and just need to believe in Cronulla, believe in the old Cronulla Sharkies. And if not, if they go and lose and are removed from the ladder, then we just got to hope the Raiders beat the Knights by 60 points tomorrow, which we will be live for. But yeah, geez, I really hope I don't have to be watching that game thinking, oh my gosh, I need the Raiders to win by a big margin. Okay, says, what a bittersweet win. Happy we won, but had to sit next to my old man and watch him rage at how bad the Warriors played. Also have a soft spot for the Wars. Yeah, well, you know what? I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because I have a soft spot for the Sharks for my mum, right? And when the Titans aren't playing the Sharks, I'll always back in the Sharks for mum and hope they do well for her. But with that being said, if we're sitting next to each other watching a Titans-Sharks game, I hope we put 100 past them, and I'll enjoy her rage. I'll enjoy it. I'll actually really I'll feel the passion and emotion of seeing her angry and upset at the Sharks against the Titans. But then if it was against anybody else, I'd be like, okay, I feel pretty bad. But no, I couldn't care less about the other teams when they're playing the Titans, man. I do feel for Warriors fans, but at the end of the day, it's we'll kind of come back to that at another time when we didn't play them. Dazmate says, clubs on the up, be grateful. 4 premierships by 2030 and you're coming. Okay, exactly right, Daz. Exactly right. People are really misunderstanding that, though. I spoke to Random South guy about it because he posted up, and whilst I agree with the criticism, there's like a real misconception that the Titans were planning to win 4 premierships in the men's by 2030. It was actually 2 premierships in the men's and 2 premierships in the women's. Actually, both men's and women's actually beat the Warriors today, which was good, but yeah, it's 2 premierships in the men's and 2 premierships in the women's by 2030, which is simply not happening. But the point is that I had to kind of check that a little bit because most people, for some reason, people are thinking that's what they were talking about, 4 premierships by 2030 for the men's. But all right, the second half is about to start here. It's 18-2 to the Panthers. Very controversial try. Got them out to that 13-plus lead, but they were the better team in the first half. Casey says it was their own fault. At home, a pretty important game to really solidify their top 4 spot, and they bombed it. Correct, but it's also the same thing as what happened with the Panthers a couple of weeks ago. So the Warriors had a full-strength team. Panthers had all their origin plays out. Brian Tuttle, Nathan Cleary, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo, Dylan Edwards, all these guys out. And the Panthers were struggling at the time. And they went across to New Zealand, and the Panthers put a score past them. They scored like 28 points. Very similar. I think they won by about 8 points or 10 points as well, like we did. It's kind of the same thing. Copy and pasted from that Warriors-Panthers game a couple of weeks back to the Titans-Warriors game today. David says, okay, I'm not drunk. I thought it was 2 in both. 4, obviously, total. Yeah, fair enough. I wasn't even having a crack at you. I was just kind of reiterating that for people who don't understand because there is a bit of a misconception recently. Lagan says, the women have a chance for 2 premierships, to be honest. I don't disagree. I think it's a bold call, but I'm okay with the bold call there. But it's not really about that. The problem is that they promised 2 premierships each. And it's like, well, then that means that you still fail, even if you win 1 and then don't win the second. They're relying on the fans not giving a shit on the second because they've already won the first, but it would be a fail on their promise unless they go and win all 4. So based off of their discussion point, it's then an error that it's an error they've gone for the 2 and didn't get the 2, they only got the 1, and it's still a fail. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why the moniker should have been be there for the moment, be there for when we win our first premiership, be there for that time. I always say be there for the moment, but for some reason this club wanted to act like they're the big dogs. So third tackle now with no backing, with absolutely no backing from historical records to prove that the Titans should have been aiming towards 2 premierships in the men's by 2030. But the women's I'm okay with. They made a grand final at the very least. Fifth tackle now at the halfway point for the Panthers. Obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. 39 minutes to go here of the game. I'd be happy if we even made it to a grand final. I'd be happy to win a finals game, mate. The last time we won a finals game was 2010 against the Warriors. So the Tigers here, that was the only finals win in the Titans' history. So first tackle now for the Tigers at the 22. Nate says still for Desi. Well, they did it for Desi today. It was a great performance. So first tackle, now second for the Tigers at the 25 through Tui Tupo. Video error. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why my stream just... I don't know what's happening. Is the internet... Are we still going here, guys? Can you let me know in the chat that we're still live? I don't know what just happened. My Watch NRL has just... a network error has occurred and caused your playback to stop. Please check your internet and try again. Oh, so we are still on. I don't understand what's happening here. It's saying that I'm not... it's not letting me watch the game right now. Still going. Yeah, because our internet's fine. Okay, we're back on now. I don't know what just happened just then. But it's working. And the Tigers, on my return to the game, will kick the ball out in the full. They will kick the ball out on the full. Going to miss Kieran Foran. Any clue who's taking his spot? Probably AJ, because Keanu will go back into that fullback. Unless they decide to blood Zane Harris and put him in the 7 and JC to the 6. Which I can see happening probably some point next year. Angels were awesome. It's raining cats and dogs. Yeah, it's raining here too. It's raining here. But you know what was more important, Olivia? You got to watch the concert, but the Titans. They're bloody stars. Gogus Titans, buddy, stars of the show. And also, you should be happy because it keeps the Warriors within your range, even though you lost last night. Second tackle over the Panthers at 40. What's the black stuff? That's the blueberry thing. It's not black, it's purple. It's the blueberry. Third tackle. Oh, it's mold, mate. It's mold. That's a blueberry shake. So third tackle, Dylan Edwards. Off to Isaiah Yo. And then Yo, he'll get this ball to the 30. Can't get the offload away. Fourth tackle. Happens a lot in the NRL. What does? And Luke Garner, he'll be 18 metres out, fifth tackle. Fifth tackle. So the Titans win. Mate, Olivia, we slap it. We slap it, Olivia. We slap it. Nathan Cleary out of the right side. Brian Tuttle coming through. Oh, he'll be 1 metre short. He got the catch, but he will be 1 metre short. So it'll be Tigers ball here, 1 metre out. Not Titans, Tigers. Nate J says, so what's your thoughts on Ded's coaching the Titans in the future and who takes his place as a coach? Maybe Trent Barrett. Maybe you get timed out for a minute. That's what maybe you get. Maybe that's what you get for suggesting. You're lucky you don't get timed out for 5 minutes, you dog. Nate J, you knew that was coming. You're a silly, silly man. You're a silly. Just take the 2 and shush. Just take the 2 at the Dragons and shush, Nate. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? What are you doing with your life? Third tab. I'm not going to answer your question now. I'm not going to answer your question. It's a stupid question. Stupid question involving Trent Barrett. You're done. Daz has timed you out for 5 minutes. I timed you out for a minute. Daz has timed you out for 5. I'm here for it, Daz. I'm here for it. Yeah, you know what? Daz, go for gold with him. You've earned that 5 minute timeout. You're lucky they don't combine for 6. So fifth tackle now for the Tigers, and they're at the 35. And Jerome Luai, he's going to whack that one down the centre. Dylan Edwards at the 15. Not going to reply to your comment now, no. Unbelievable. Dylan Edwards now to Brian Tuttle. And Toto will get this ball to the 40. Zespi says, have you been offered a job as a commentator before? Not in the pure sense of what you're talking about, but like I've received discussion points in regards to other areas, is what I can say. But not to like the Fox level, if that's what you're referring to, 45 metres out. But the thing is that I'm not even... At the end of the day, the reason why we do what we do is because the Panthers are away here. They're at the 25, the 20. Luropatea kicks the ball through. It's actually a good kick, but I think this might be a knock on Panthers. I don't know what's going to happen here. They're going to check it in the bunker. The benefit of what we do here is that we get to conversate with people in the chat. Like a difference to when you're watching on Foxtel and Fox League and all that sort of stuff is that you're listening to commentary talking amongst themselves, but here it's we're talking to you whilst commentating the game as well. And also, there's no agenda. Well, it's my own shit, my own bias and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's no like narrative or agenda. Like I'm just giving you my genuine opinion about things, whilst not having upper heads in corporates telling you what you can and can't say. I think Dylan Edwards is going to get called for a knock on here. But maybe this is just from Jack Bird, but I think he knocks it on later down the line. He doesn't touch... I don't think he touches that one, but I think he might touch it later on. Oh, I didn't think it touched the fingers of Edwards there, but either way, I think it's going to be the same call regardless. It'll just be Tigers ball at the 10. Dasman says charity match. Yeah, I did do the charity match, obviously. Casey says, would you enjoy a job as a commentator? Well, we pretty much do that here, mate. We literally pretty much do that here. I'm always open to any opportunity, but at the end of the day, I would have to think about the benefits, the pros and cons and stuff like that. Because it's very different commentating this style with you guys as a live commentary feed comparatively to a regular commentary gig where you're not actually interacting with people like yourselves watching the game. You're interacting with other people who, it's just very different. Very different. So first tackle now for the Tigers at the 15. And now second tackle. But like I would enjoy it, but at the end of the day, I love what we do here. Second tackle here at the 30. And now off to Latafainu, Sonia Taruva, and Taruva be at the 35 on third tackle. Casey says we destroy the Warriors. Destroy them, mate. We slap them. We slap them, man. Fourth tackle at 35. 45. Slap them. Fifth tackle here at the 45 on the Panthers side of the field. Because that's the biggest benefit. I'm not going to have someone tell me that I can't shit on the Broncos for last night's performance because it's not a part of the narrative or agenda of the broadcast. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I refuse to be told that you can't be honest about your opinion about a team. Like, I'm happy removing swear words or happy removing super controversial discussion points, but, like, they'll get told that they're not allowed to criticize this team because it's not a part of the narrative that they're kind of going with in the spiel for the game. And it's like, well, fuck that, mate. Like, I'm not here to circle jerk any fan bases. I'll tell them if I think that they're good, and I'll tell them if I think that they're poor. And, like, the case in point, when I'm talking about the Titans, like, I'm not here to just circle jerk them. I will say when they're bad, and I will say when they're good. So Nathan Cleary, he'll be 40 metres out. Dion says, just got home from the Titans game. What a night. First ever NRL game. Crazy. First ever NRL game. Good stuff, man. We went for a good one. So got Tarova now at the 5. Well, you're undefeated in New Zealand too then. I'm currently undefeated in New Zealand from last year when I went for my first game in New Zealand. And now you're undefeated alongside me. So first tackle of the Tigers at the 20. Sean James says the shenanigans at the border should be over soon. Down south from me, yeah. Yeah, I saw Vietnam told them to settle it all down. The Vietnamese getting into it. Second tackle, Jack Bird at the 35 on third tackle. But no, that would have been a good game to be a part of, Dion. Actually, you're a Titans fan, yes? I think you are, yeah? I'm undefeated at Titans games. No, you're not, Logan, because the Titans never lost a game in your life. And you're just wrong. Taylor May at the 30. You're just wrong. Fifth tackle. Look, I can't hear you from all the way down that far on the ladder. Fifth tackle at the 25. Tuitupo off to Jerome Luai. And Jerome Luai puts that ball across. And that's going to be Tigers throwing the ball forward. And Thomas Jenkins grabs the ball at the 13. Negan has never been to a Titans game they won. Yeah, you didn't go to the Roosters Titans game earlier this year, did you? Negan? What are you thinking, mate? You think I don't remember? You think I forget? You think I not forget? You think I forget, remember, not remember, forget? You wish, Negan. You didn't go to Allianz this year when the Titans slapped up the Chooks, did ya? Hey? Deary me, Negan. Don't test me, son. Don't test me. All right, the Panthers now get this ball to the 45, third tackle. Nathan's was a serious question, by the way. Serious question that involved Trent Barrett. Is that right? You seriously thought that I would want... You seriously thought anyone with half a brain capacity would want... Even just one individual brain cell would want Trent Barrett as their coach? This is what you... Yeah, it's a serious question, was it, Nath? And that's going to be a knock-on from the Panthers, I reckon. No, they're going to say that was backwards from the Panthers, so they're going to say it's a Tigers knock-on. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is Panthers knock-on for... Okay, yes. That is the correct call. That is the correct call. Canal says, bet the Tigers will get this done. Yeah, it's going to be hard to see that considering it is currently 18-2 Panthers with 31 minutes to go of the game. But you know what? Fair enough. Let's see if the upset can happen. We've already seen 2 upsets this round in 3 games. But I'm going to have to heavily deny and debate that one and say I don't think so. But 30 minutes to go of the game. Hit that like button and subscribe. We've got the Sharks Rabbitohs right after this. Tigers with the ball at the 40. Tui Tupo, good post-contact run to the 45, first tackle. No, that part was a joke. No, was it really? You reckon? That part was a joke, was it? Trent Barrett. Trent Barrett being brought up on my streams is disrespectful to the NRL community. Not disrespectful to me, disrespectful to the NRL community of people who listen to these streams. Tigers now second tackle here at the 40. Lagan says, imagine putting Baz and Sirius in the same scenario. I know, very questionable from Nath. I reckon he should just take the 2. All right, so third tackle now for the Tigers. They're 25 metres away here from the line. I tell you what, though, considering how... If I was still going to every single Titans game like I have for the last few years, and then with this season, it would have been the most depressing season, but today would have been the biggest party in Auckland I think I'd ever seen. It would have been a better feeling than even last year's one. It would have been. Even though we hadn't won a game yet at that point of the season. We've been through Canberra, Townsville, all those places, but jeez, fit tackle with the Tigers and they get absolutely whomped down at the 22. Didn't even get a kick away. So it's going to be Panthers ball at 22. Today would have been way more of an electric feeling than last year's. And last year's was amazing. Bizza says, unrelated, but I love those paintings in the back. Yeah, good stuff, but this is just an Airbnb. I'm in Vietnam right now, but they're cool, lads. They're different. What I love about art is they're very obviously subjective. Some people will hate this and some people will love it. That's what I love about art. Third tackle now at the 50, but again, I'm in an Airbnb. I do actually like that kind of stuff, though. It's pretty cool. So fourth tackle now for the Panthers, and they're at the 35. And also, if you've been around these streams long enough, you know that unrelated, related, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes we get people talking about random shit. I talk about random shit. Like we even brought up Buddy Thailand and Cambodia 5 minutes ago. Fifth tackle now at the Panthers. And Nathan Cleary, he'll kick this one centre. Good chase here for the Panthers, but Taruva will get it. Edwards grabs him at the 5. First tackle. Bunch of lines, a circle and 2 semicircles. What a piece of beauty. And that, my friends, is a person who doesn't get this style. But that doesn't mean that he's wrong. It's just his personal opinion about it. If you're talking about art, we need to get like a wine glass. Wine glass. I've got my leg crossed right now. And want to get one of those fedoras. Now, that's what we're talking about. I hate fedoras. I've always hated people who wear fedoras. Fourth tackle with the Tigers. My best mate in Fiji is a Ratuman guy. Back in the day, we were like 20 years old, and he would go out clubbing and partying with us, and he'd wear a fedora. It was just this worst. I hate fedoras so much, man. If you don't know what a fedora is, you can Google it. I hate those things. So they'll kick that ball. Very wanky, in my opinion. So Dylan Edwards at the 10. But again, subjective. Some people enjoy it. Get into him, Bizza. First tackle here at the 30. Jason, get one of those big Mexican straw hats. No, but it's not like, I'm talking about like the really kind of elitist art scene. You know, you cross your leg, you got like this, the fedora on, maybe one of those round glasses like this. The big ones, big thick ones. Have a wine glass that's situated like this. You have to grab it like the wanky wine grabs. You got to grab it like this. So Panthers now, Nathan Cleary out to Dylan Edwards. Edwards now at the 40. I think time go to Brian To'o, and To'o's going to be 35 metres out for tackle. Daz says, must have went home by himself all the time. No, he actually was. No, no, that's the funniest thing is that no, he didn't. Like, he was very... Panthers here at the 30, 25, at the 15. Liam Henry, good run, good offload. And Nathan Cleary, he's 15 metres out. He steps, taking down 10 metres out. Fit tackle. Mitch Kenny out to the right-hand side. He will kick that ball up in a good area. I think the Tigers have caught that, so it's going to be in goal. So it'll be a 7-tackle set for the Tigers. Good work there from Taylor May. No, the funny thing about him is that he was not afraid. Like, he was very good with the women, yeah. Casey says, can't you see at the integrity of the lag, can't you see the integrity of the semicircles? They might be a half of a circle, but 2 of them make them strong and really carry the circle on top. That's a real big circle. I like the circles. First tackle now to the Tui Tupo, and he'll be 15 metres out. Mike says Penrith possibly getting top 4 after what's been happening this season is insane. Yeah, correct, but I still have my doubts about Penrith. But when they get into the finals, it'll be, it's just I need to see them against the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Storm. After they play this game, they play the Titans next week at Seabus, and they play the Knights. They should win all 3 of these games, and then they play the Storm in Penrith. They play the Raiders in Penrith, and then not Penrith, Combank, and then they play the Bulldogs at a core in 3 games straight. That's the games I'm looking for. I couldn't care less about this game or the next 2 games for the Panthers. Adrian says 10 minutes away, they should rest Cleary. Why? He didn't play last week. I get, resting players, but this is not really the point of the season. I'd be resting players, especially when they'll rest players in the last round of the season regardless. Lagan, you did kind of have a crack at the art. He just complimented the art, and then we spoke about it, and then you've had a crack at him. So you can't be really surprised that you're getting a bit of a slap up in the chat right now. 3rd tackle here with the Panthers. Now gets the ball to the 45. Mitch Kenny. 45 metres out. Now 4th tackle. Michael, that's right. Big bark from this lad. I wasn't even having a crack at him. No, you weren't having a crack at him, but he complimented the art, and then you had a crack at the art, which is ultimately having a crack at him because he just said it's good. So that's why that was his first comment too. He just slapped him. So Sunitaruva now at the 10. You don't appreciate art, okay? You just don't appreciate the artistic pleasure of looking at such magnificent art. I actually do like this. I actually think it's pretty cool. And it'll be 3rd surprise. Paul Stokes is paying attention. Yeah, it is a good start that he is actually paying attention to what's happening for the first time and not playing a game and coming up with ridiculous opinions that have nothing to do with what not even nothing to do with what we're talking about, but the opposite of what I'm saying, and then says that he's not even watching the game. It's incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Jerome Luai now to Sunda Taruva. Taruva now 35 metres out, 5th tackle. Biz says, I love being called a man or being a girl. What's happening in the chat right now? Biz X Critter, how are we meant to know this? How are we meant to know this? What's happening? What's happening at this point? Dylan Edwards now will be at the 35. We appreciate you for being a woman, but how is anyone meant to know based off of names and stuff like that? David Saul says Tigers going to win with 2 points. The remaining minutes belongs to the Tigers. Okay, good luck. 3rd tackle now for the Panthers at the 42. Yeah, you don't. Okay, well now I'll try to remember that. It'll still be difficult for me to remember considering I just look at names on chats and stuff, but I'll try to remember it. So Nathan Cleary, now that you've called it out, I probably will actually remember it. So now it'll be Brian Toto here at the 40. I'll just put the blame on Lagan. It's Lagan's fault, Bizza. It's Lagan's fault. So Brian Toto now 35 metres out, 4th tackle. Doesn't says, I appreciate not reading this out. 4th tackle now. Mitch Kenny out to Nathan Cleary. Nathan Cleary, quick pass there from the Panthers and Thomas Jenkins. He's going to be 25 metres out. Casey McLean, he'll be taken down to the 13 after a good offload. And be 5th tackle for the Panthers. They score here. The game. Oh, no. Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, but they still might end up scoring from it. Nathan Cleary kicks it for himself with Taruva. What a tackle from Cleary, but it will be 1 metre out from their own line, the Tigers. He has the attention span of a... Oh, that's a huge hit. A huge hit from Luke Garner there. 2nd tackle for the Tigers at the 12. The attention span of a goldfish. Oh, and now he's calling bloody Mr. a ladyboy. Now, see, this is the thing. Lagan is the one who continuously refers to Thailand ladyboys on this channel, so I'm really starting to question if he actually... again, supply and demand. Ladyboys exist for a reason, because obviously there's dudes going there and doing that, and I'm feeling like Lagan's one of those dudes, because he keeps talking about him. 5th tackle now at the 33. Yeah, no, valid, Lagan. Yeah, no, valid. You've definitely wanted one of the ladyboys in Thailand, that's for sure. So Jenkins now, he'll be at the 20, and he'll bring this ball out now to the 25, the 30, 1st tackle. That's the beautiful thing about this chat, is if it's all good and everyone's enjoying the game and talking about whatever they want, and then we'll get one comment, and then everyone will just slap him. Everyone will just get him going. And Lagan is fully deserving of that right now, because that art is a piece of beauty. 3rd tackle now at the 45 for the Panthers, Isaac Tungo. Barking Ducks for sure. Fourth tackle here at the halfway point. And Mitch Kenny off to Nathan Cleary, who'll kick this ball into the corner. To be fair, the Tigers have been, maybe not, well, actually last week, but the Tigers have been performing pretty well in the last 20 minutes of games, off the top of my memory. Tigers against the Cowboys was one that I'm really is sticking out to me. The Tigers obviously were down against the Titans, and there was a few controversial calls, but at the end of the day, they got back and they won the game. So I wouldn't put it out of them making a game of this in this last 20, but obviously the Panthers are more than likely going to win this game. 20 minutes to go of the game. Hit that like button, subscribe. Sharks Rabbitohs right after this. 20 minutes to go. Now Tigers 4 tackle at the 35. No, third tackle. We get the offload away. Jerome Luai, Terrell May, and they get this ball across to Torova. It was a good run from him. He gets, he nearly got the offload away. 4 tackle at the 45. Justin Sundo says, come on Tigers, man, make it a game. Well, as you say that, Sundo, they throw the ball over the sideline. Yes. No, Grassy McGrath in play. Beautiful play there by Grassy McGrath, and the Tigers have thrown the ball over the sideline. Woohoo! Woohoo! Over the sideline. I do not think they recognise that the fans at CommBank do not actually, in fact, play for the Tigers. They might wear some Tigers jerseys, but that does not mean they're a player on the field, no. Wobbly Wiggly. I don't even know what's going on there. Brocky says Touchy ain't playing. Touchy's not playing here today. No, they don't usually play. Tigers thought he did today, but obviously not. Third tackle now for the Panthers, and they're going to be 20 metres out. Touchy was away untouched. He was too. Just didn't grab it. Third tackle. Now Nathan Cleary. And now it's going to be Moses Leota, who is 15 metres out. Fourth tackle. Panthers just need one try to really seal this game. I think the game's over, but to really seal it, Nathan Cleary kicks it through, and no, he doesn't kick it through. It goes straight to Adam Dooley, who gets the ball at the 8, first tackle. Langer says, yeah, my bad, I need to realise that squiggly lines are Picasso-level paintings. Do you recognise this? This is why art is so subjective. Take these off the wall and literally just put a piece of paper inside a frame, and that is considered art. And some people will enjoy it for the simplicity. Literally, you could have just a frame around a piece of paper, just a straight up A4 white piece of paper, and that is art. And that is, some people would actually really appreciate that for its simplicity value. That is the fact. You'll get some art which is just, for some people, will look like paint. It's just thrown. Actually, there is an artistic style where people just throw paint. It doesn't really matter. Everything is technically art. Third tackle, I'm an artist, actually. I am an artist because technically this is a form of art, what we're doing right now. So take that, Logan. Fourth tackle now at 30. I'm claiming myself as an artist. Content artist. Changing the title from content creator, content artist. What about grade 4 finger painting? Still art. Still art. All right, so Dewey kicks it to Edwards at the 20, and he's going to bring it out now to the 30, to the 35. Blazers art, hey, technically speaking, I'm not going to argue it. I'll read what she's reading. Says, does this guy know about the fountain? Don't think he knows about the fountain. Lagan, do you know about the fountain, buddy? That's a high tackle. Nope, they didn't call it. Second tackle at the 42. Panthers quick play the ball, Blaze Salungi, and he'll bring it inside the attack and after the 45. Third tackle. Missed tackles is 35 against the Tigers. That is simply not good enough with 17 minutes to go. And 20 missed tackles for the Panthers is pretty good. But 35 missed tackles at this point of the game is ridiculous. Von P says, it's like how Subway calls employees sandwich artists. Exactly right. See, Von gets it. See, Von gets it. Fifth tackle now, Nathan Cleary at the 25. Into the corner. Sandwich artists. You know what, Lagan? I want to give you some homework here. And your homework is to go and get a job at Subway. All right? And then learn how it is to be a sandwich artist. Get a job at Subway. I used to work there when I was 16. So I was a sandwich artist. Third tackle, it's the truth. Lagan said that's why it's a joke. Went from Starry Night to not even putting anything on the paper. What? This is just one form of art. This is just one form, and this is... you're an idiot. Third tackle at 35. I respect you don't like it, but at the end of the day, it's still art. Fourth tackle at 40. Greg Martin says stickman is the greatest form of art. Exactly. Just don't tell Lagan about stickman. He'll have a heart attack. You'll have a heart attack at stickman art. Deary me. Users of jokes went from names to calling yourself. Oh, it's all on. Tigers will make a mistake here, so the Panthers will get the ball at the 50. Oh, it's at 45. Latu Faiunu will throw a forward pass out of Terrell Mate. 16 minutes to go here. Panthers up 18-2, and they will get the ball. Users. See, at least you got Jay back in your Logan. So, scrum here for the Panthers at the 50. I think the biggest scam of all time, though, was when... It's like the same thing. It's like those online... What did it used to be? What is it? I don't know if it still even exists. It's not... It's like crypto, but it was the art, and you got to own like the pixels or some shit. What was it called? It was like in the last couple of years, it was a big thing. I don't know if it's a big thing anymore because people probably realized how stupid it was. What is that called? It was a big thing online for ages. And it was like a monkey. You own a picture of a monkey or some shit for like millions of dollars. And that's going to be Casey McLean, who is 13 metres out. And now Jay's back into whacking into Lagan, makes sense. Out to right-hand side. And Moses Leota, he's going to be 8 metres out. Oh, NFTs, that's the one. Yeah. NFTs. Yeah, that was crazy that you were seeing like pixels of a monkey go for millions. Liam Martin out of nowhere will score, and that should be the game, ladies and gentlemen. 22-2 with the kick to come. Liam Martin just punches through and will score. And that should be the Panthers going into 5th position. Broncos, you're going from 5th to 6th with a chance of going to 7th if Manly win tomorrow. And a chance if the Sharks win by about 60 of going to 8th. Just throwing that out there, Brisbane. You know, I'm not one to usually insult Brisbane. Never usually would do that. But I will just point out, let's not talk about the fact the Broncos could drop into 8th this weekend, even though it's probably not going to happen. But let's not talk about it. Let's just pretend it doesn't exist, that the Broncos could drop into 8th position this weekend. 8th. They could drop into 8th position. We won't talk about it, though. We don't talk about that. That'd hurt Broncos fans. You don't want to do that, maybe. We won't talk about it, but they could drop off into 8th, yeah. Albury Sheets Reading says minimalism is just a type of art. I actually like minimalism. I actually prefer minimalistic art than colours in your face. You know, like just colours everywhere. I prefer it. Odd Papa says, I'm hoping the Sharks don't win. Listen here, buddy. Odd Papa, you listen to me and you listen to me damn well good right now. If the Sharks don't win and the Rabbitohs jump out of last and put the Titans back in there today, I'm going to crash out deluxe. And I'm going to remove the Sharks from the ladder and we're kicking you both out of the comp. We're kicking both the Sharks and the Rabbitohs out of the comp. You listen to me. I will flip out in that next game if that happens. 13 minutes to go of the game. Albury Sheets Reading says, love the Broncos' performance last night. It actually wasn't that bad. It's just, unfortunately, Reece had to try too hard because nobody else in the spine wanted to stand up and actually, get into it. That game last night was more so on Reynolds, Ezraman, and Ben Hunt than anybody else. And they will get the kick. So it is 24-2 to the Panthers with 13 minutes and 40 seconds to go of the game. Greg says, kick the Roosters while we're at it. Hey, listen, we're on a fire sale. May as well. Off your pop. Off your pop. Logan says, lesson of the day, hate the artist, not the art. Sure, that's a perspective. Sure, you can hate the artist all you like. Odd Papa says, I'm a bunny through and through. Nah, you're a Sharks fan today, buddy. No. Nah, today you're a Sharks fan. Everyone's a Sharks fan today. Everyone's a Sharks fan today, champion. Henson says, I think maybe the Panthers will get the grand final again this year. I disagree, but I can also see why people are concerned and thinking why the Panthers are the same team as recently with their win streak. But I will be on your same wavelength if they can win 2 out of 3 games of their upcoming 3-game stretch against the Storm, the Raiders, and the Bulldogs. If they win 2 out of 3 of those games, then I will agree with you. And I will say they will make the grand final this year. But for the time being, they play the Tigers today. They're going to win this one easy. They play the Titans next week. They should win that easy, even though the Titans won today against the Warriors. And the week after, they play the Knights, and they should win that easy. So I don't care about these 3 games. Those next 3 games after that is what I care about. Forward over for the Panthers. But again, I can understand why people are looking towards that and saying the Panthers on a 7-game win streak are going to make the grand final. It hasn't been I haven't been convinced yet until I see them against those top 3 teams, which they will play in that 3-game slate. So 6 again for the Panthers in their first tackle, 35 metres out. Mike Cool says, kick everyone out of the comp except the Titans and the Dogs. Nah, because then I'm going to have to 100% deal with Dogs fans every week. So I'm going to say kick everyone out of the comp except for the Titans. Edwards now. Liam Martin, 5 metres away from the line. Tarova slipped over, but he didn't really have much to do with that. Anyway, Panthers now 3 metres out, 4th tackle. Sanders says, as a Roosters fan, I would like the Rabbitohs win for once. You're done. Your Panthers here. Tom Jenkins. He'll be 5 metres out, 4th tackle. We'll see you in a minute, Sundo. We'll see you in a minute, champion. What a disrespectful comment to the authenticity of the game of rugby league. Oh, that's a beautiful kick from Nathan Cleary. Oh, it's a beautiful kick from Nathan Cleary. It will roll around and Isaac Tungo will score right next to the post. What a beautiful, beautiful kick there from Nathan Cleary. 28-2 with the kick to come. And that was a stunning curl. That was a stunning curl from Nathan Cleary. We know it's in his locker. We know he has it in him. He has it in him. That's a beautiful kick. The spin on that ball, unbelievable. Does he get the ball down, though, without knocking it on? And it's knock on. Oh, this is actually a tight one. This is a tight one to see if he actually gets this down or it knocks it on. Oh, I don't know if I could give that. The other angle might be better, but that angle doesn't look good. I thought there was a bit of separation here. Touches it there. I would say that's a knock on mine, but I would have to say that's a knock on. I don't know. They might actually still just call this. This is a really tough one. This is a really tough one to call. I don't know if they're going to give this a try. I think they're going to say no try. They're looking at the referee. They're still looking. They're still looking. Logan says, aren't the Sharks such a great thing? Shame there's no wet hair Nico. Here we go. I don't think you can call that. But they did call it try on the field, so they still may just give it. I would probably... Oh, it's been confirmed. I had a feeling they would still call it, because there's not... It's a very difficult one to call. I think if that gets called a no try on the field, that's a no try. But because it got called a try, it's a try. So 28-2 with the kick to come, and the kick deserved it, to be fair. Try thumping bomb, mother bish, broggy. Bert says, Penrith will win the grand final this year. They're gelling in a great pressure in rugby league, mate. Sure, but I think that you can absolutely look at what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from, where they're beating teams that they're expected to beat. They should beat the next 2 teams as well, in the Titans and Knights. They're currently in a 3-game streak here against the bottom 4. You know, like, for example, I'll go over it for you. So... the Panthers are on a 6-game win streak. They beat the Rabbitohs, who are in last place right now. They beat the Eels, who are in 5th last right now and were 2nd last at the time. They beat the Bulldogs, which was a great win. That was their one win that I really do respect. The Warriors game, the Warriors are very vulnerable, but sure, I'll give you the top 4 team. The Tigers, who are in 4th last, and the Eels again, who are in the bottom 5. So, and then their last loss came against the Knights, who are in 3rd last right now. So their run of form with this Knights game, and also the Cowboys game in round 10. So Cowboys are in, 11th position right now? 11th position, and they drew to them 30-30. They then lost to the 3rd last Knights, and this is based off of ladder positioning right now. They lost to the Eels. They beat the Eels, who are a bottom 4 team. They beat... there's going to be a mistake there. There's a penalty for the Panthers at the 40. They beat the Tigers, who are probably going to be a bottom 4 team this week, but they are 5th last. They beat the Warriors, who are 4th. Beat the Bulldogs, who are 3rd. Eels are 4th or 5th last or whatever, and Rabbitohs are last. So it's like this next 3 games also doesn't prove shit until they play the Raiders, the Bulldogs, and the Storm. So that's the perspective I'm under, that I still think that there is a lot of questions to still ask about this Panthers team, and we won't be answered them until 3 weeks away. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Odd Pobbit, thank you very much for sending the membership, my guy. Brocky Sports, give the membership. Get around him, he deserves it. Brocky, not only does he get a win with the Titans today, but he also gets a membership. On behalf of Odd Pobbit, get around it. Greg Martin says downward pressure not a thing anymore. I think it was like downward pressure, but it's just whether it was a really difficult one. It was really difficult. Oh, Panthers are going to score again. Panthers are going to score again. Lindsay Smith kicks it through. Lindsay Smith kicks it through, but it's going to be a dropout from Jerome Luai. But that's funny that Lindsay Smith kicking through. Jax says the bunker is shameless frauds at this stage. The sooner everyone realises it's not about the rules, what the rules are, it's about what the bunker wants to call, the sooner everyone will be happy. So, Jax, I actually mentioned to you before, when the Panthers scored their third try, Nathan Clear with the forward pass right on half-time, I was really unhappy with that, and I said that you were probably right in regards to the referees in the first half and the Tigers having to beat them. Now, the Panthers have been clearly the better team in this game. With that being said, though, I would debate that... That last try, but I can understand them giving it based off of the on-field call. But the very questionable one was that one at half-time where Nathan Cleary threw it forward clearly. Seb Watson says, deserved the try for how good the kick was. Correct. I'll pop it says, I thought gift memberships were anonymous. No, gift memberships have always been public. Bert says they'll crush every side. Just watch the only team they're going to be careful with is the Storm. Nah, I disagree, man. But what are you basing that off right now? Again, they lost to the Knights 6-7 weeks ago, but like, what are you basing that off? They haven't been beating out like the massive teams besides the Dogs, and the Warriors are very vulnerable, and I would say a couple of teams below them are probably playing better than them, including the Panthers. But what are you basing that off? I'm assuming you're a fan of the Panthers, because surely you can understand the perspective of what I'm trying to say. Edwards kicks it through, corner, Jenkins, no, it goes dead. Basing it off how drunk he is. No, like I think he's probably basing it off of the pure metric of 6-7 wins in a row, which whilst I get, you also need to look into that and see who they're beating. And it's just I need to see that 3-game stretch. Until then, I'm just like, until I see that 3-game stretch, I can't get on the same wavelength of the Panthers going for 5 years in a row. But again, there's valid thought process to think that the Panthers are going to be there, but I don't think that. Right now, I personally have them there. I do have a team like the Storm getting there, despite their loss to Manly the other week, and even not in a great performance against the Roosters, but they did have no Munster, no Pappenhausen, and Jerome Hughes was off for the last 30 minutes of that game as well. Bert says, so what, they beat the Warriors, got defeated without their Origin players. Yeah, that was a good win, but I don't understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, they did win against the Warriors, but the Warriors also just lost to the Gold Coast Titans, mate. The Titans beat the Warriors today in Auckland. Adam Dewey kicks it through here, but he misses that second kick, and now Dylan Edwards picks it up at the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, and now they're 45 metres out from the Tigers line. Again, like it was a good win because they had no Nathan Cleary, no no Dylan Edwards, no Liam Martin, no Isaiah Yeo. Not really the point, but at the end of the day, it was a good win. But the Warriors, they nearly lost to the third last Knights last week, if not for a deflected field goal opportunity that Halasima made a miracle out of in the last seconds, literally on the siren. They would have lost to the third last Knights. They today lost to the last place Gold Coast Titans, who have won one game since round 3 of the season. So it's like, yeah, sure, that's 3 games in the season, so round 4, because they had a bye. But sure, they won that game, but the Warriors are very much not exactly a stable point of the top 4 right now. They're lucky to still be there, but they've banked up enough wins. Fit tackle here at the 8. I'm saying the Panthers is gelling. I'm not disagreeing with. I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say here. So the Panthers kick the ball over the top, and the Tigers will get the ball at the 3. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm trying to say. 5 minutes left. It's going to be Panthers ball here at the 10. I'm not saying that the Panthers aren't looking good right now with the teams that they're playing against, but it's the teams that they're playing against that aren't proving a great deal of where the Panthers are actually situated. And in 3 weeks' time, after you play the Titans, who are last, and the Knights, who are third last, you will then play first, second, and third. And when we see you against first, second, and third, you win 2 out of 3 of those games, and I'll be on the same wavelength. But until you win those 2 of 3 games against the Bulldogs, Raiders, and Storm, when you play them in 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks straight, it's very difficult to kind of back them in long term, but there's very much so a thought process that the Panthers are gelling and they are coming together. But this is from a neutral perspective where I'm not a Panthers fan and I really couldn't care less what the Panthers are doing at the end of the day in regards to my team. But the point of the matter is that you do have to have that perspective where they haven't necessarily proven it against the big time teams on a consistent level just yet. Nathan Cleary out to Blaze Lungi. Thomas Jenkins, and he will score in the corner. 34-2 here with a kick to come. 34-2 with a kick to come. Greg says, one game aren't the Panthers just just amazing. Well, if I was to look at that group of games, I wouldn't be looking at the Warriors game. I'd be looking at the Bulldogs game, because that was a very good performance there from the Panthers against a really good Bulldogs team in that game too. But the Panthers will score, and they're up 34-2 here with a kick to come. I'm going to message my Tigers mate. He ripped into me last week. With the Tigers Titans. So I'm going to message him saying how much of a loser he is. Where is it? Where is this bastard? Hi, friend. Just wanted to check in with you. Winners win and losers lose. You're only as good as your last game. The Tigers are obviously losing the Panthers today, and the Titans got to win over the Warriors. So only as good as your last game, and it's just as simple as that. You're a loser, but he will be fuming. I know his first response will be, how about last week? But at the end of the day, he slapped me last week, so it's good to get into him now. Sunday's a shit game. Yeah, not a great game. The only not great game of the round so far. Cowboys-Dragons was awful quality, but at least it was close and it went down to the final seconds. Keith says to Tom and Jenkins. Yeah, Jenkins just scored, yes. Jenkins just scored. 3:44 to go. Don't forget, in 20 minutes' time, guys, we will be live for the Rabbitohs taking on the Sharky Sharks. Rabbitohs and the Sharky Sharks. Nathan Cleary from the sideline. And then tomorrow we will be live again as well for the Knights versus Raiders. And then the big game, Bulldogs-Manly, is a whomper game. Nathan Cleary, solid kick over the black dot, and it is 36-2 with 3 minutes to go of the game. 36-2. Mike says, the Panthers win the grand final this year. Would it be the most impressive grand final win in history? Yes. Yes, based off of the context of the season, sure. Who would have been better? If the Eels had won in 2009, then that would have beat it, but they obviously lost to a cheating Melbourne Storm team. Panthers 2023 has got to be up there, but they were also the best team all year long. It's just that they struggled in the first 60 minutes of the Broncos and then came back. And it says, go Panthers all the way from Papua New Guinea. Appreciate you in Papua New Guinea. Lagan says, well, they'll end up losing next week anyway, so the Bulldogs game is out of the way. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, the Panthers will lose next week to the latter leading Gold Coast Titans, the greatest team that's ever existed. You know what I'm saying? You better know what I'm saying. Sunday says, I'm off to work for the next game, unfortunately. If Rabbits win, I get 2.3k from $25. That's actually amazing. And we get 5% of that. Okay, well, that'll make up a little bit for the... that'll make up a little bit for going back in the last position, but I also don't want the... I also don't want the Rabbitohs to win that game. But also, it's a cheeky little dono there. 4 tackle now for the Panthers, and they are at the 50. Off to Lindsay Smith, then to Nathan Cleary, out to Dylan. No, Grassy McGrath hits the grass, and Isaac Tungo will have to get this ball back at the 45 on his own side of the field. 5th tackle. Odd Poppet says, I'm already waiting for the Bunnies game. Yeah, you're a big Sharks fan, Odd Poppet. Everyone is today. Nathan Cleary dinks it underneath with a grubber. Dylan Edwards kicks it through. Bit of football action, but a little messy. But the Tigers will end up getting the ball at the 25. Nelly Turner says, congrats Titans on your premiership. No, we appreciate that, mate. No, you're only as good as your last game, so the Titans do win the comp. Obviously, they're undefeated right now at the top of the table, so we're probably going to win the actual comp as well. But, sometimes you just get sick of winning on the Gold Coast. You really do, Nelly Turner. You just get sick of winning, and you just want to see another team win for once. But at the end of the day, we're just too good, Just too good. That's why they're undefeated, top of the table. So 4 tackle. Oh, no, they get... Yeah, 4 tackle to 45. Minute 42 to go of the game. I can cash that now for 340, but I'm just going to let it ride. Why did you tip the Rabbitohs for starters? And, nearly an intercept, but it will be a knock on there from both teams. Panthers first, so Tigers get the ball at the 30. Minute and a half left of the game. But no, Titans premiership comes on notice, mate. Comes on notice. Here comes the run, Here comes the run. Especially when they beat the Panthers next week. Oh my gosh, it's like a guarantee at this point. It's like a guarantee. Panthers, mate. Titans all over them. So Tigers now at the 30. Jerome Luai, 1 minute to go. Their points differential has been crunched in this game. They are down now around the Titans and Rabbitohs for points differential. This multi had Eels, Titans and Rabbits was paying $93. Hey, listen, I hope it wins for you. I can't see the Rabbitohs winning with all their players out, but if it wins for you, I'm happy for you. Second tackle now. And now they're 22 metres out. They give it to Jerome Luai. Luai now to Adam Tui. I will still crash out, though, if the Rabbitohs win. I will. Seb Watson says, when did the Bunnies last win? Not today. Third tackle, 10 metres out. Can the Tigers get the last try wins? The last try wins here, Tigers. Alex Twell, he's 10 metres out, 4 tackle. JC Finesse, there is 15 seconds to go of the game. 15 seconds left. Tigers now 10 out, and that's not going to do anything. 5 seconds, they might not even get to play the ball. They may not even get to play the ball here. And they will get to play the ball. And Tigers here, that will be the end of the game. Brian Toll was going to try and run this ball out. I don't know why. You don't need a points differential, but sure. Anyway, Brian Toll ran the ball out, and that will be the end of the game. 36-2 to the Panthers. They were very clearly the best team in this game. There was a couple of controversial calls at the end of the day. The Panthers were the better team. So overall, that is a win for them. They go up to 5th position. Broncos go down to 6th. The Tigers, they lost by quite a bit, but at the end of the day, they don't go below the Eels. So they're -101. They lost by 34 points. They'll be -135. The Eels are -147. So Tigers will stay out of the bottom 4 for now, but if the Knights or the Rabbitohs win, there is a chance for them to drop into the bottom 4. If the Knights win, they will jump above them, to be fair, but they play the Raiders tomorrow. But alright guys, I'm jumping off. I'll see you in about 10 minutes time for the next game, which is the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Sharks. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.